Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV during the draining, sapping international break. I fucking hate an international break. I hate it. It's so boring. What do we talk about? Where's the controversy? What do the Spurs fans have to moan about? Moan, 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 moan. This sub, that sub, this tactic, this goalkeeper, this left winger, this striker, this midfielder, this young player's not playing, that young player's not playing. We wanted Levy out. We've got him out. So who are we blaming now? Yada, 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 yada. Oh my gosh, it's just too much. Then I get in trouble for not being negative enough. I'm getting in trouble for saying, well, hang on. I thought a new manager coming in with this squad might take some time. Not 11 days, 11 games, not 11 Premier League games, time, actual time. So in this phone-in show, the only people that will be able to phone in are members. The rest of you can sit back and enjoy. I don't allow just anybody to come in anymore after what happened last time where trolls were trolling and they ruin all the fun for everyone, don't they? Those trolls, by the way, they're now over on LinkedIn. Those trolls, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Well, Jay could say I moan about the fans more than anything else, but the fans, I don't think, seem to be being fans quite a lot. The stadium is full of people who are we're booing substitutions. We're booing substitutions. How did we get to this stage where our fans, that they cry and moan for a new manager? I did. I wanted a new manager. I got the new manager. We wanted a coach. We got a coach. And then we're going, go on. Why haven't you sorted out all our problems in 11 games? Why are you so risk adverse? Who cares if he's risk adverse? Let's be fair. The last manager was the complete opposite and we lost every week. This guy's not losing every week. Who cares? Let him build. Let him grow. No, not good enough. Not good enough. No. We want to moan about everything. We want Brennan Johnson playing. Oh, why is he playing Brennan Johnson? We want Sarr instead of Bentancur. Oh, why did he pick that midfield? Yeah. We want this. We want whatever he does. Moan, 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 moan. How about giving him time? We know he needs transfer windows. And I think this all comes down to how much you rate the players. And I'll be talking to my guests about this. Obviously, I'll let them lead the discussion. Members, if you check the community page, you will see the link is there. So if you want to come on and have a chat about whatever you want to chat about, keep it football. But you can pick the topic, say whatever you want. We can row, we can debate, we can have a friendly chat, whatever you want to do. But for me, this all comes down to, and I'll get the guests on in a minute, but this all comes down to me, what people's expectations were for this season. As I've said, people are going to me, oh, what about the way we're playing? Well, as I've said, unless everybody is fit, I don't think this is a good squad. If everybody's not fit, this is not a good squad. And the fact that we are fifth, I don't think there's a drama. Now, of course, you lose your next game, you could drop down to, 11th. Of course, 11th, 5th, 8th, 7th. It's going to be like that most of the season, I reckon, with this squad. So I think, and what makes you laugh is, look, you get absolute donkeys like this guy, and he's moaning. I'm not moaning about anything. I'm happy. You see the internet. Unfortunately, you got twats like this. I'm not moaning. I'm super happy. My club is the manager I wanted. We've made some decent signings, but we need time. Get behind the manager. Give him some time. Even when I'm positive, I'm being told off. It's absolutely ridiculous. Unfortunately, dickheads will be dickheads, and here they are. And unfortunately, oh, look, no name, no picture. Oh, my God. Sorry, your mum didn't love you enough. It's not your fault. Oh, bless you. Bless you. No, fuck you. No. You don't come for me. I'll go at you. No, I don't care. I'm going to bring on my first guest. Rain is going to be my first guest. Let's see what he's got to say, what he wants to talk about. You all know my position, right? You all know my position. So I will let my guests give their position and then we'll debate that or talk about that. But I just think that everyone should just calm down. And honestly, when I'm watching too many shows, there's shows talking about, is he rotating too much? And you're like, is he rotating too much? He's got a game every 3 days. What do you expect? Is he rotating too much? Is he playing the right players? It doesn't matter who he plays, right? Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Against Arsenal, whatever 11 he picks, someone's going to moan. Whatever 11. If he picks Richie, they'll moan. If he picks Scarlett, they'll moan. If he picks Tell, they'll moan. If he picks Saar, they'll moan. Bergvall, they'll moan. Bentancur, they'll moan. Simmons, they'll moan. Whatever he picks, people are going to moan. It is what it is because we have no patience. We have no patience. The football will evolve. I'm telling you, people, the football will evolve as he's been here. The longer he's here, the more the players come back from injury, the more signings we make and the more deadwood that gets shipped out. But let's just try getting behind him. I'm going to bring on Rain now. Rain, if you're ready, are you ready? Yeah, you give me the thumbs up. Yeah. Rain, how you doing, my man? Nice to see you on this Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much. I was there on Saturday.
And how was that for you?
I thought I don't get it. I see what I'm seeing is really sort of relatively steady progress.
Right.
Throughout the last like 10 odd games, 11, 12 games in the Premier League. We're tighter at the back. We're still making mistakes. We're still messing about at the back. They've got to. I don't get that. I don't get the tippy tappy at the back. I've seen no evidence that statistically gives us a better chance of controlling the ball and putting the ball in the back of the net. I just don't get it. And we've been doing it since Jose. Just so everybody is aware, it's not a new thing. It's something that is sort of infested the Premier League. But in terms of
it's like a 2025 football thing now, isn't it? Like every team feels they must play out the back, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
And I don't get it. You play the percentages, right? And the amount of times I cannot ever remember. Somebody will be able to tell me I'm wrong. I can never remember us scoring a goal from a short goal kick. I can never remember us having a short goal kick and controlling the ball so well that we went on and scored a goal. I can remember plenty of times us taking short goal kicks or messing about at the back and ending up conceding. If I actually memorably last season, Forster conceded 2 against Man United by messing about at the back. And on Saturday, Van de Ven gave Saar an absolute rollicking for not just clearing the ball.
That was shocking, wasn't it? That was.
I don't blame him, though. I don't blame him because that's what we're doing. So he's just following what is being done, and then noticeably Van de Ven after that. Noticeably, he was just clearing it. He had enough, right?
Can I ask you a question then? I just want to ask you. It's an interesting point when you're talking about playing out the back. I think it's kind of like a devil and the deep blue sea type thing. And what I mean by that is if Spurs are going to play it out quickly and play it long, the problem I see we have is we've only got one player that can hold the ball up, and that is Mohamed Kudus. Like, none of our strikers are capable of battling and holding the ball up. So I feel like do you play it short? Do you play it long? Like, I feel like none of our midfielders are capable of taking the ball from the back four and controlling. I feel like this is only my opinion, Rain. I feel like this is a really poorly constructed squad where there's a lot of components missing. Like there's a lot of components missing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe. I mean, if we ever see him again. If we ever see him again. But absolutely, you know, Richie, it bounces off him like a trampoline.
Yeah.
Odebear, I don't know. I literally, I've no idea whether he, you know, whether playing the ball up to him, whether it would stick, whether he challenged for it. Johnson, I don't know what's going on with Johnson. So that's the other thing, Sam. We are definitely seeing progress in the players, 100%. Right? Everyone who after game 5 or 6 was saying, where's the progression? He's supposed to be a coaching man. It's supposed to be a coach. We're supposed to get a coach, and we're like, chill out. He's had about 10 training sessions. Chill out. Okay, just relax. Yeah, you don't get. It's not like an instant thing. You don't just get it. But Johnson is definitely looking like a different player. Maybe not. I'm not saying his ceiling is high, right? I'm not saying that he's going to turn into this incredible player, but he's trying to take on his man, and he's crossing the ball. It's
not very good at
it. But trying to do it is.
I hear you.
And
I actually think he started the game really well against Man United. I thought the first 20 minutes he was getting down the line, he got 2 really good crosses in, and then it just felt like after that he reverted to type, and it was like playing with, I would say 10 men, but obviously with Richarlison it's almost like 9. But don't you think, as much as you can coach, for me, I've always thought that coaches, listen, it takes years to coach players better. Like it takes, you can improve small things, but to see a huge difference, to see a real change, it takes a while. For me, a coach is more about how you're setting the team up. And my worry is that everyone thinks because we got a coach, suddenly a lot of these very average footballers will be turned into world beaters. And unfortunately, it don't even work like that with coaches like Pep Guardiola. Do you know what I mean? Like at some point you have to get better footballers, right?
I mean, that's one of my favourite quotes is by Cloughie. He said, you know, so much is talked about tactics by people who couldn't win a game of tiddlywinks. It's all about the players, you know, and he knew a thing or two, right? We just need better players. But we're seeing Odebear actually do some basics. Where we're seeing. Where you know, when your doggy's getting on the pitch, he's doing some stuff. But Sam, the thing that everyone needs to take away is we've got no players. Our squad is absolutely paper thin. It's absolutely, you know, at the weekend he had 2 kids on the bench. 2 kids I'd never heard of. You know, I had to go and look them up. And they're talking about loaning Scarlett out. I'm like, wow, yeah, we must be getting a striker in January if you're going to loan Scarlett out, because at the rate our players are falling by the wayside, we're not going to be able to put out a first 11. You know, come middle of December. So I think Frank's doing a fantastic job. The booing.
I can't believe it. I genuine Rain. Honestly, let me just quickly say, first and foremost, if you are a member, the link is in the members. The link is in the community post just to the members. Feel free to dial in. Otherwise, it makes the phone-in show pretty redundant if no one phones in. Can I just say, I talked about this the other day, and I don't get it, right? I feel like sometimes we don't deserve nice things. And what I mean by that is you've got a new manager that's come in, and let's be brutally honest. If the home form and the away form had been swapped, I think most people would be absolutely fine, right? If we had the best the best home record in the country, and the away record needed work, I think most people would be fine. But on the main, yeah, it's difficult to talk about league position because the league's so tight. But in the main, we've gone into the third international break of the season already in 5th place. We're not losing many games. We're not shipping loads of goals. Like no one's beat us by more than 1 goal, right? We've not conceded. I don't believe anyone's put 3 past us in any game. If I'm not wrong, I believe that the most we've conceded is 2. We've got 8 clean sheets from 17 games in all competitions, right? So what's that? Just under a 50%, what was that, 45% rate or something. And we've got fans booing at the stadium. And I sit there and I think to myself, he's been here 3 months. Football, I know he's been here maybe 5 months, but in terms of the season is 3 months old, right? 3.5 months old. We're booing substitutions. We're booing the manager. We're booing the players. Can I just ask, right? What do people want? They want another manager. Do they are we that far detached from last season? 17th, 22 league defeats. Are we that far detached from that we are already, right? We are already booing the players and manager. I don't think we deserve nice things. I don't.
So the last memorable time the last memorable time for me, the substitution was booed, was Conte bringing on Davinson Sanchez when we were already down, and the booing. Everyone says, "Oh, you booed Davinson Sanchez." I'm quite clear. Right, the stadium booed Antonio Conte, not bringing on a defender when we were losing. Right, it was absolutely bonkers. I don't boo. I understand why some people have negative emotions and do it. And there was a lot of frustration in the stadium on Saturday. But what I really don't get is, and I don't like to do the all fans were saying this or all fans were saying, because we're 60,000, 50,000 Spurs fans in the stadium, you'll get 100,000 different opinions, right? But there were lots and lots of people saying Xavi's shit, Xavi's rubbish. He's absolutely he's clearly not going to make it. He's not good. He's not going to make it in the Premier League, right? So he's looking gassed on Saturday. He looked gassed. He looked shattered. And so Frank brings him off. Brings on Tell, who, let's face it, is not flavour of the month. He's not the player that Spurs fans are like, you've got to bring on Tell. You've got to bring on. So what are fans booing? I don't get it. What are fans booing? Are they booing Xavi going off, the player who they think is rubbish? Are they booing Tell coming on, a player who they think is rubbish? I mean, I wouldn't say he's rubbish, but I would say he's 19, 20. I would say he's a 20-year-old lad who isn't ready to be playing consistently in our first team. Are they booing Frank for making a substitution to manage the game? What are fans doing? But what I do know for sure is that those fans will not learn the lesson that they booed a decision that Frank made that ended up actually scoring us a goal. I know that they won't reflect and go, oh, actually, I was a bit of an idiot, because actually he clearly he knew what he was doing. Clearly he saw something, and clearly he needed to do that. What I saw was Spurs fans going, we should have just started with the right 11. And you're just like, come on, guys. Come on.
Do you know the funny
way life works?
Do you know the funny thing about this? Like, when we're talking about so many people now saying, oh, he got the 11 wrong. But do you know what? I hear this every single game. and it doesn't seem to matter who he plays, Rain. Like, let's be fair. How many times in the last month, especially, have we heard, oh, Bentancur and Paulinho can't play together. Bentancur and Paulinho can't play together. But in the games where he's taken one of them out, put in Sarr or put in Bergvall, we don't look any better. We give the ball away more. And then people go, oh, he got the team wrong. And you're like, well, hang on. You all wanted him to try that. Now, I'd rather a manager try something during the beginning of their tenure. Like, this is how he finds out. This is how he knows what works, which combination works. And we've had managers previously that didn't try anything. So I feel like, listen, I'm a fan of Frank, right? I'm a fan of Frank. I am. And I'm a fan of, we need some stability, Rain. We need some stability. I don't think many fans, and I don't think YouTubers help. And I am a YouTuber. Of course, I have to take responsibility for stuff. But I'm seeing so many shows now where you would genuinely think we're bottom of the table. And I get it. I get that it's not, oh my God, we're amazing to watch. But Rain, can I ask you a question? Would you really look at this squad that's available to him and say, God, we should be playing really good football? Because I don't.
Well, no, I mean, we've got one right winger as it stands because we overplayed Kudus. He was clearly fatigued, and he had no. So we're now down to Brennan Johnson, who, even though I'm saying he's progressing, no one would want as our first choice. And even though he's had really good GA last year, no one would really want him to be our first choice right winger. We don't actually have a striker as it stands. I mean, maybe Scarlett. Does Richarlison count as a striker? I don't know.
Isn't it embarrassing that we're down to those three options: Scarlett, Tell, or Richarlison? Like, I look at that and I think those three shouldn't be the strike force for a promoted team, right? We're a Champions League team and going, this is what we've got. I mean, I'm embarrassed by it. You watch, if Mawani isn't fit, right? We don't know what happened. If Mawani isn't fit to play against Arsenal, everyone's going to be having these big, long, raging debates about which striker starts. And I look at all three of them and go, meh. I'm looking at Scarlett. I'm sorry, Scarlett couldn't get a game at Oxford, right? But everyone wants me to think because of a cameo against Copenhagen where he won a penalty. So have you noticed, by the way, Rain, this is something Perchie always says to me. He always says to me, there's more currency in not playing than playing. When you don't play, fans remember you better than you actually are. They're doing it right now with Solanke, right? They're doing it with Scarlett should get a chance. And you're like, well, he's like fifth, sixth choice striker for a reason. He doesn't score goals wherever he plays for a reason, but we're now pinning our hopes on Scarlett. And I find it all a little bit embarrassing, mate. I really do.
I think it's an indicator of how desperate people are when it comes to striker. I don't think it's a reflection on Scarlett or how good they think Scarlett will be. I've been trolling lots of people by going, we need to bring Scarlett on, and I'm joking. But actually, when you look at it, you're like, hell, actually, can he be any worse? The
problem is with that question, and I know the fans won't want to hear it, but yes, he can be worse than Richarlison. And by the way, right? Rain, I'm sure you've seen me enough to know, so as people watching, I don't rate Richarlison in any way, shape, or form. I think many people know that. But this notion that Scarlett's going to do more than Richie says more about how bad Richie's been rather than anything they know about Scarlett. Does that make sense? Like, this isn't that they've seen Scarlett and gone, oh, that boy can play. Because now what I'm getting is, God, well, look what happened with Harry Kane. You're like, whoa. Like, hang on, let's stop using the anomaly that is Harry Kane, that every youngster that gets a chance at Spurs is going to turn into Harry Kane. Like, it's, I don't know. I feel like we're scraping the barrel so much now. We're praising Odegaard because he does the basics. We're praising Tell because he did the basics. We're praising, people are now going, look at Lubo wants great. Time for Archie Gray, but based off nothing. Bergval's better than Simmons, based off nothing. We want Scarlett to start up front, based off nothing. We're at desperation, scraping barrel time for me.
The one thing I would say with Scarlett is the problem with Scarlett is we have no data. We have no data, and I need to be clear. You said he didn't start for Oxford. I think the loan system is crap. I think the loan system is completely and utterly broken. I think the majority of players who go out on loans are doomed. I think the majority of them are doomed to fail. If I'm brutally honest, I think you get to the point where, I mean, Donnelly isn't starting because they've got a South Korean 22-year-old who they paid £1 million for. Who are they going to play? Who are they going to play? The 20-year-old loanee who they've got absolutely no investment in, or the 22-year-old South Korean who they've brought across, paid money for, have got a long-term contract with. I'm sorry, you can say, oh, if he's good enough, but that isn't the way that life works.
Yeah, but hang on. We're going to disagree here. Could it be that player is better than Jamie Donnelly? All of our fans were so desperate to shoehorn these players in. If you look at Stoke this season, wouldn't you turn around and go, Robbins has done an absolutely phenomenal job? But our fans are like, oh, but he can't. Donnelly, if Donnelly's good enough, he'll play. You think Mark Robbins wouldn't play Donnelly if he wasn't better than what he's got?
In a toss-up, he's going to go with his guy.
Well, you don't know.
In a toss-up, he's going to go risk-averse.
Okay, so let me argue that point. If that's the case, then why is Ashley Phillips starting at centre half for Stoke? They bought 2 new centre halves in the summer. Why is Phillips starting?
Don't know.
Hang on. I'm trying to throw your logic at you.
Fundamentally, I just don't like the loan system. I think the loan system
I'm not saying I do, but the thing is, your logic was, who are you going to play? The guy you paid for or the guy on loan? Well, okay, so why is Ashley Phillips starting every game at centre half and not the players they bought? You know why? Probably because Ashley Phillips is a good player. And Jamie Donnelly, for me, I'll be honest, I watched him at Orient and I looked at him when he's good at that level, but I didn't watch him and go, yeah. I know there are people that do, but let's be fair. No manager's kept him around. He can't get into a championship team. Don't we have to ask questions and say, how good is that player? We always blame the loan system. Can't we ask that question? How good is he?
I don't think many people do blame the loan system. I think I'm charting a very lonely course. I think lots of people in the summer were going, loan this player, loan that. Everybody needs to go out on loan. Gray needs to go out on loan. Everybody needs to go out on loan. I think the loan system is rubbish. I think the whole academy system is broken. I think the way that it used to work with reserves, where players would be kept at their club, they would be trained by their club, and then they would play with men in the reserves who were getting up to speed on the injuries. That was
combination reserves.
That was a much better system.
Agreed.
Than what we've currently got. I'm sorry. The youth system at Spurs, we don't develop them properly, but it cannot be that we don't develop any players. Statistically, 1 or 2 has got to come through at some point. Sure. Can I just say about Odobert, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Flavour of the month. Everyone's like, oh, now he's got to start. He's got to start. He's only played 3 games for us. And all of a sudden, he's a must start in our first 11. It's just like, come on, guys. Come on.
I was having this chat with Sean earlier about Odobert. And I think the key thing for me is here, right? Let me bring Mark on as well. So we'll have 4. There we go. I think the key thing for me with Odobert is it's just how crazily over the top everyone goes whenever anything happens. Right, let me give you 2 examples. Like with I thought Odobert did really well when he came on the other day. He did really well, right? But it's half hour he did well. And immediately that's gone to, he must start every game. He's the best. Told you about him. He's great. That wasn't Sean saying it to me, by the way. Sean and I were having a different chat. But I said to Sean, the thing for me with someone like Odegaard is he should be learning off someone. Right now, Tottenham Hotspur should have a top-class left winger that Odegaard is being subbed on for or rotated with in League Cup games, or you're playing Copenhagen in the Champions League and get Odegaard in there instead of whichever winger you're putting in there as the main man. But what our fans do is, I'm seeing compilations now of his best bits from Saturday. And like, for me, I don't know about you guys. I know I'm really opinionated, but I don't know about you guys. I want to see some consistency from footballers. So don't show me in one game. Show me for 10, 15 games in a row that you are actually, yeah, Sava, hold your hands up. You got it wrong. God, this kid is really good. But we see one little thing and jump the gun. And Sunday, one of our lone players proved that as well. Mikey Moore got his first Rangers goal, if I'm not wrong. It was his first Rangers goal, right? Against Dundee. I watched the game. Nice goal. Good finish. I'd expect a pro to tuck it away. And immediately, it wasn't, yeah, well done, Mikey. It was generational, getting back. He should be starting on our left wing. And I'm like, hang on. You lot all yesterday were creaming your pants over Odegaard and saying he's got to start on the left wing. Today, it's look at Mikey Moore because he scored against Dundee United. Rather than someone like me, I'm called negative. All I'm saying, Rain, is someone like Mikey Moore scoring against Dundee, brilliant. Stay at Rangers. Smash up the Scottish League. Grab your goals, grab your assists. Have a great year where the Rangers fans turn around and say, cool, we'd love Mikey on a permanent. And then we go, no, he's ours. We'll get him back in our first team. But we see one thing. Yang, about 7 or 8 games ago, Portsmouth had a little run and he was doing well. He scored a couple and assisted a couple. And it was, you seen Yang? Have you seen Yang? And now he's gone back to dropping stinkers and being subbed or being on the bench, because we see something for a couple of weeks and go, this is it. This is amazing. We do it with everyone. Sarr has a good game. We go, Sarr's got to play every game. Right, next week we're going, he's crap. Bergvall has a good game. Cool, he's got every week. Archie Gray makes a 10-yard pass. Archie Gray's got to start. Best passer at the
that was going to be my thing. It was going to be Odegaard is the flavour of the day. But at the start of the season, it was Sarr. Sarr has to start. Sarr has to do this. Sarr has to do that. Then it was Bergvall. Bergvall has to start. Bergvall is the guy. Now it's Odegaard. Look, I'll tell you, there's one consistent thing you'll get from young players. It's inconsistency. Right? That's why you want a 24, 25, 26-year-old pro, because they've worked out all of that inconsistency. They've learned all those lessons. Yeah. They've made the mistakes, and trust me, guys, they're not unlike us. They have to make mistakes to learn. Right? They don't come out of the womb amazing players. Not everybody's Wayne Rooney, right? Who comes out of the womb like this incredible footballer. They have to make mistakes and learn and adapt. I just don't particularly want them learning in the first team. I want them learning somewhere else. And then we buy them like 20, 22, 23, 24. And they've learned.
Rain, let me say this, and then I'll get in. I'll bring in Andy and Mark as well. What I don't understand about it is I think that the desperation and the need for these youngsters to be better than they are before they're ready. I'll go to you, Mark, and then I'll bring in Andy. It feels to me, and feel free to disagree with me, that we're so desperate. We're so desperate to find the next Harry Kane. We're so desperate to find the next Ledley King, right? The next Sol Campbell. Sorry, something in my throat. We're so desperate to find the next one of these that we see the tiniest thing, we wrap it in cotton wool and go, this is a genius. Rather than going, I liked that cameo, keep it up. Right? Oh, the number of videos I've seen about Odegaard, Mark, over the weekend. I thought he came on and he did what a winger should do. He did no more, no less. He did what a winger should do. He ran at his man, he got the ball across, and he set up a goal. Brilliant. That's what you're paid to do. Our fans putting out videos and shows about as though he's David Ginola, as though, do you know what I mean? As though he's beaten 15 men, and just we never seem to keep it calm, Mark. Never seem to keep it calm.
No, I mean, I completely agree, because you look at, I'll just take a couple of examples. The Eze's, the Elise's. I never saw them straight away for Palace or whoever and thought, brilliant player. It was over a number of years and over a number of games. You're like, yeah, those boys are good. Like mid-20s, they've done it for years and years. Just because you put on a Spurs shirt doesn't instantly make you a great player. And I'm afraid fans nowadays, they just seem to rate everybody. And I'm in an era where we rated Maldini, Klinsmann, Van der Vaart, Ginola. We rated class. Now people just rate everybody.
Mark, so true. Do you know what? That I feel like not just Spurs fans, the standards of players we rate. And do you know what? I was watching on Sky Sports earlier. I was watching Gary Neville's what's it called, Soccer Box, and he had Robbie Fowler on the sofa with him, and they were showing Robbie Fowler goals, and I was like, God, he'd be the best striker in the league, barring Haaland right now. Like, and Robbie Fowler was talking about this, not in the same context we are, but he was talking about, he said, now every average Joe has a good game and they're praised. He said, back then we didn't get that. He said, back then we had to fight. You had to force your way into that first team. You had to keep scoring, keep doing what you do. He said, now everyone's praised without really doing a lot. And if you don't jump on it, I'll bring you in, Andy. If you jump on the praise, like for me, I said, yeah, using Odegaard played well, came on, did well. But because I don't go overboard, I'm in the mud about him. He's proved me wrong. You don't want the young players to do well. When you're thinking, hang on, that was his first assist in 26 Premier League games. People are talking to me, Andy, like he's just had 10 games in a row and got 10 assists. Can we just a bit of calm, maybe?
Yeah, so for me, I just think it's a generational thing, to be honest. I think this fan base has gone far too up and above what our expectations should be. I mean, when I was a kid, I was happy to see Spurs in the top half. If you look at a lot of these players, I feel a bit sorry for them. The expectation, the weight at 19 is nuts. Mm-hmm. They're not that talented. I mean, if you go and bring in someone like Malik Fofana, that kid at 19, 20 has got that ability. But you look at a lot of these youngsters, I don't think they've got it, and we're expecting too much from them, to be honest.
Agreed. Do you think we forget, Andy, that we're Tottenham? Now, I'm not saying that like we're Man City or Real Madrid, but we're still and have been one of the biggest 6 clubs in this country for decades. And I sometimes think that when we're talking about these players, we talk about our club as though we're like a championship team or a non-league side. Like people go, just give them a go. I want to see Archie Gray get a run of 10 games in midfield. Well, why? I don't.
Well, I think it works both ways, though, doesn't it? I mean, if you look at it, you want to have standards with the players that you're putting out on the pitch, but then by the same token, the rest of the fan base and people like that can't expect to have top quality players because we're not willing to pay for them. It goes both ways. And I think the relative success over the last sort of 8 years, with Champions League consistently for those 4 years, Champions League final, even winning the Europa League last season, I think fans have forgotten that that's not what we've traditionally been about over the last 20 years.
Well, do you know what? I mean, Rain, when I worked for Charlton, I remember Alan Kirbishley talking about, not directly to me, but Alan Kirbishley would always talk about, fans want me to play the kids. He said, I can't. He said, I can't play the kids because if I do, I'll get crucified. He said, I'll get crucified. If they're not ready and I play them, I'll get crucified. Why did I pick them instead of this senior pro? Do you think we're in that scenario now? Like, for example, people saying they'd rather see Archie Gray than Bentancur. Now, I don't think Bentancur's the greatest midfielder in the world, I don't know what you think, Rain. For me, he's 10 times better than Archie Grates right now. Like, what are we expecting?
I don't know, but there were also people saying that Archie Gray should have gone out on loan. So, on a season-long loan, which he probably should be still out. He probably shouldn't be in our first team. He's still got some learnings to make. But I look back at Chelsea, right? So I look back at Chelsea, at the game against Chelsea, and the uproar in the fan base. And my feedback was that this is what you get when you have a budget of 20 to 60 million pound per player for us in our transfer market, and Chelsea are doing 60 to 100 million pound per player. That's their budget per player. So they've got Gittins and Esteval, right? And they're doing exactly what you're saying, Sav, what we should be doing with Audebert. That Esteval is clearly going to be a really, really, really good player. Yeah. What are they doing? They're giving him 15 to 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
They're just 15 to 20 minutes.
There.
15 to 20 minutes. Just let him get those minutes without having the full pressure of a 90 minutes. But we are so desperate for players because our squad is thin. It is absolutely, there is nothing to it. That Audebert has a good game, and people are like, "Oh, he's got to start." Well, why?
But Rain, I think it's the pedestal.
And Gray should just play 10, 15 minutes a game. 10, 15 minutes a game. Just learn.
But for me, Rain, it's the pedestal they're put on, and I always use this guy as an example. So many people, and I have to be really careful what I say because people don't actually listen to the full context. They'll just hear the headline that I make. I always use Bergvall as the example. I watch Bergvall and go, all right, like you're okay, you're okay. Like I don't see anything that stands out. I don't see that he's a brilliant passer of the ball or that he's a brilliant creator or he scores loads of. I look at him and I go, yeah, you've got really good work ethic. You've got yourself bigger and stronger. You work hard. You've got a good engine. But some of the people talk about, they go, what a player in there. And I'm like, there might be. I haven't seen it in a spurt. Like, if I'm brutally honest, I've not seen him do anything where I go, oh my God, you must start. Like,
seen as many
there too quickly.
Seen as many mistakes from him as we've seen outstanding. We've seen as many. Can't remember where there was a couple of games where he made some really bad mistakes, and we conceded goals from them. And obviously, then everybody sort of thinks back to the Liverpool game, where he had an absolute, where we stood out. But this is what you'll get. This is what you'll get from an 18, 19-year-old. You'll get, if you play them consistently, then you'll get a really good game and then a rubbish game, and a really good game and a rubbish game. Whereas with an old hand like Ben Davies, for example, right, you get 6.5 out of 10 like this, flat, all the way across.
Just quickly, can I just say, and again, this is what we say to make ourselves feel better, right? Like Destiny he said Barcelona wanted him badly for a reason. Two things. If Barcelona wanted him badly, Barcelona would have got him. Second of all, the player himself has said that he came to Tottenham because we guaranteed him minutes. What Destiny actually means is Barcelona wanted him, would have put him into Barcelona B, right, along with all the other young talented players, and he would have had to fight it out to get into the first team. So all of this, Barca wanted him. So you reckon that Barcelona offered him first team starts and he picked Tottenham over Barcelona? Or did he look at Barcelona and go, Gavi, Pedri, De Jong, right? Fermin Lopez, Cabassi, not Cabassi, Cassano.
Even Busquets was still there at the time.
Who?
Busquets was even there at that time, wasn't he?
Well, I can't even remember what year it was, but
2 years ago.
But this is the difference, right? He comes to Tottenham, he'll get minutes. You go to Barcelona, he's not starting in front of any He's not starting in front of any of their midfielders. But my point to this, lads, wasn't that, oh my God, Bergval's terrible. Not at all. Bergval, for me, looks like a decent young player, like most young players I see come on for most clubs. But because we are so desperate for a young player to be great, our fans go, there's a player in there. He's going to be better than this player. He's going to be better than this player. Based on what? Like, what? I haven't seen it. I don't, Mark, Andy, I've not seen it. And I think you need to go, don't you? Rain, you got to go. Take care, mate.
I'll give the audience a quick reality check. When Man United played Scholes, Beckham, Giggs, but all them lot, they were 18, 19. I never heard anything like this because you know why? They were good. Regardless of their age, they were just good enough. We're just overhyping these young kids. I'm sorry. They're just, we're acting like these, you mean your Mal type players we've signed. They're not at that level yet. Nowhere near. Bergval should be on loan somewhere for another year or two before he even came back to the club. Sorry.
Well, I think if we had acted like a proper club, Mark, that's what we would have done. Let's be brutally honest. With the likes of Bergval and Gray, right? I truly believe if we had actually gone out, bought what we needed, you can turn around to these Bergvals and Grays and go, right, go and get 90 minutes every week playing for somebody, whoever it may be. But instead, right now, we're having conversations about should Bergval and Gray be in a Spurs midfield? We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're talking like we're Millwall. I just find it all a bit much for me.
Well, sorry, Andy.
Go on, mate. You go.
I think when Gray's price went to 35 million, Spurs should have ran. They should have absolutely run. It's not to do with Gray. This is all to do with Spurs. Spurs should have never signed him for that money. They should have paid for a proper midfielder, not Gray. They should have got Gray for 5 to 10 million and then sent him out on loan.
It's like a millstone around his neck, that price tag. Yeah. It really is. Because of the expectation that fans will now put on him. It's not his fault he was 40 million quid. No. Spurs should not have paid that money for him. I completely agreed. But the other thing with Bray is we don't even know what his position is. I live next to a Leeds fan, and he was gutted when we first got him. But he said his best performances were as a right back, and that's not what we bought him for.
Well, it's funny. All last year, all I heard from everyone was that Archie Gray needs to be played number 6, and it's Ange's fault for. I'll stick up for Ange. It's Ange's fault for not playing him as a 6. He can't get the best out of him. Now this year, I'm hearing, he should play alongside Paulinho as the 8 because he's the best ball player. And what I want to know is, when have these people that also support Spurs seen these games that the rest of us haven't to make this judgment? Like, I've never watched Archie Gray and gone, you should be in midfield for Spurs. I've seen some cameos where he's come on and you think, yeah, okay, you did all right. But what are they watching that I'm not?
What did he do? Yeah, what did he do against Doncaster? We all said a perfect example for him. Division, what they won side. Let's see what you can do. He didn't do anything. Little 5-10 yard passes. He didn't dominate the game. You said before the program, let's see what you can do, Gray. Let's see you boss the game. He didn't do anything really.
Yeah,
didn't he play left back? To be fair, though,
not that game. Played centre midfield. Doncaster.
I thought he was all right. He didn't.
Yeah.
He was. Listen, I don't watch Archie Gray and go, "You're the worst player I've ever seen."
No.
I also don't watch him and go, "Yeah, I absolutely get the fuss." I look at him and go, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, guys. Last night, and I did do this last night, I watched Cheltenham versus Notts County.
Oh, Tyrese Hall, wasn't it?
Right?
That's his level.
And Tyrese Hall, neat, tidy footballer, got something about him. I didn't look at him and think, yeah, you're miles off Archie Gray. I didn't watch him and think, yeah, Archie Gray's better than you. So I have to ask the question, what was he bought 4. Like I just don't get that one. Just don't get it.
Because he's count towards the homegrown. That's what we paid for, I think.
Yeah,
But
but
could we have not bought a homegrown player from someone in the championship that didn't cost 40 million?
yeah.
But not just that, doesn't he count towards the club trained as well, with the amount of time he will have spent with us between when we bought him? I think he counts, him and Bergvall will count as club trained as well, no? For Europe.
Possibly, but my point is there must have been loads of 18-year-old English
Oh,
kids
100%.
in the championship.
But
that
you
we could
going
have
back
done, right?
to Bergvall, the one performance that I'll never forget was at Galatasaray in the Europa League. He looked so lost, and you felt for him after it and throughout the game. He looked so lost. He shouldn't have been out there.
But
I almost feel for him because he's now 18 months into his Spurs career. He can't get a regular game. I know he's injured now, but he's not been able to at any point get a regular game unless it's an injury crisis and he's filling in at the back. And I just think, aren't we wasting this? Like, I know like Lubo will massively disagree with me, but shouldn't this boy be out on loan playing week in, week out? Like, I just, it's not just him. We bought him, Bergvall, Valise, Yang, Odeber, Tell. It's like we just bought so many of these young players, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was.
Was there a plan?
The plan is there is
That's
no
the question.
plan.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. There wasn't one.
I think Gray got bought off of his performance against Chelsea, like we did against Spence against us when Spence played well that time. So yeah, off of that one, that performance he played well against Chelsea at right back. That's what I think.
But if you notice, a lot of our transfers are done like that. And Dombele was bought for his performance against City and some other decent performances in the Champions League. And the scouting's been terrible. Like Solanke, Solanke one decent season, and I don't hate Solanke. I don't rate him, but I don't hate him the way a lot of others do. I think once he comes into this team, I think he'll score goals.
Well, I always laugh with Sav in the chat. I always put how many goals are scored, Premier League goals, between our whole squad. I bet it's less than 100 between our whole squad. Yeah. We have no killers up front, no proper goal scorers. So how are you supposed to win?
Oh, we've bought so badly. Like over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we've bought so badly. But again, we sit and say we bought badly, but everyone wants to praise every signing. Like every signing, you're told be patient. But surely we've all watched football. Listen, I'm guessing everyone here is over 40.
Whoa.
Over 35.
Whoa.
How old are you?
39.
You're 39. Okay, right. Okay. So all right, I was a year out. When are you 40?
September.
Okay, all right. So I was 10 months out. Right. Okay. So we've all seen enough football between us, right? That this notion that you've always got to wait and see with every single player if they're going to be good. I mean, how long does that last for at this level of football? Like, how often does Chelsea keep a player for 4 years and just go, he'll come good soon? How often do United do it? How often does City do it? These clubs don't do it. They are, you have not come good. See you later, move you on.
But they make money out of them as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was that kid that they sold to? Was it Atletico? He barely kicked a ball for Chelsea. Would they sign him for, what was it, 10 million, sold him for 30? I don't know. Can't remember his name.
Oh, no, you think he was going to go to Atletico and then in the end went to Villarreal? Are you thinking of Renato Vega?
Yeah.
Mate, they do this with... Look how many people Chelsea sold in the summer.
Yeah.
Look how many they got rid of in the summer.
That's how they're able to fund their big windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never a loss.
Yeah, it's madness. I just hope, slightly moving the subject away from that, guys, and you guys can talk about whatever you want. But for me, I just think it's so important now that we come away from this strategy of unknowns. I think we come away from this strategy, and I've always said, I mean, you guys have watched me enough to know that I said it's only when we buy better players will people realise how much they've overrated the average ones.
Okay.
Right? When if Spurs went right now and bought Semenyo, right, we'd realise how much we're overrating the Johnsons, the Richarlisons, the Tells, the Odegaards, because straight away you go, yeah, look, this is I'm just using him as I don't want to say anyone ridiculous.
Well, I think you could be reasonable and bring in Tony on loan,
A guy from Everton.
And
The
die.
winger from-
You're not getting and die. You won't get him.
But that's who I'll be looking at. I don't think that's unreasonable, especially in the summertime.
Well, I think if you go and get yourself a Fofana in January as a permanent, you go and get Tony on loan, and then you go and get a Gallagher or someone of that profile on a loan or an option to buy or an obligation, then that fixes a lot of the problems in the team. And that's not unreasonable.
I'll tell you what, this is a great point. Big up, Lord Ronnie Trott. This is a great point. And for me, I'll caveat straight away and say, if we're buying a 19, 20-year-old, right, and they are ready and they've played 100 first team games and they're, I'm all for it if they're good. But when we're buying 18-year-olds like Bergvall, like we did with Sarr, like we did with Gray, like we did with Tell, like we did with Valik, all you're doing is saying to all of the academy is that you're not good enough. And if that's the case, fine. If the academy aren't good enough, move them on, go to the next batch. But the problem is, I've had these conversations, especially when I was on the Spurs 5. Conversations I was having was, those guys want to see the Bergvalls, the Greys, the Sars, the Tells, the Odegaards. They also want to see the Donnellys, the Moores, the
English.
they want to see all the young players we've bought, plus the young players from the academy, plus they want to buy first team players of quality. There's only 25
every
spaces
week
in the squad. You can't do it all, right? Can't do it all.
Yeah, they want to win every week as well.
And they want to play great football, win every week. And it's like, for me, I think at some stage, we need to talk about being, if we want to be a top club, I don't care how old the player is. I'm going to be brutally honest. Spurs go and buy 3 top players in the summer that are all 27 years of age. I don't care about the youth. Right?
Well, that's where Fofana comes in, though.
Out.
He is Fofana. He is that player. He's played that 19, 20. He has that age group, and he's played 100 games. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Europa League. So that's why I don't see buying him as an issue. But if you look at someone like a Tell, he barely got a kick most of the time at Bayern, did he?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're talking about somebody like Akliouche of Monaco, the boy plays week in, week out, has done for years, in the French national team now. That's a no-brainer. But if you're just going and buying, I hate to keep using him as an example, if you've gone and bought Archie Gray, you've literally turned around to Devine, Donnelly, Hall, Abbott, and said, we don't trust you. Because instead of playing you, we've gone and bought that kid for 40 million quid in front of you.
Yeah. And is he any better than what we've got with those midfielders? That's the question.
Keep talking. Someone keep talking.
Dead air.
No, I agree with you, Andy. I think that there's a lot better players, and a lot. They don't necessarily have to be all 30. They don't have to necessarily be all 20. What you need is the word of the day is quality. You need the quality, regardless of the age.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it. I don't. We seem to have this real thing at the moment where we seem to care more about youth than actually being a proper club and buying top players. And listen, Mark, if Spurs bring through 2 or 3 kids from the academy that end up being like Kane, I am here for it. Yeah. But it's this desperation that they should all get a go. Just give them a go.
I'll give Spurs a little reality check. There was a guy who came to us, a World Cup winner in '94, who weren't bad at 30 called Jurgen Klinsmann. And people still talk about him today, even though he only played one full season. So regardless of your age, quality is quality, mate.
Oh, mate, it's look. I feel like the next 4 or 5 I say next 4 or 5. Spurs need to make sure now the players we bring in the next couple of windows are players that go in and make us better. Let's stop buying players that we have to wait and see. I'm so bored of signing Tells and look, Tell, Odegaard, in 2 years' time they could be amazing, brilliant, right? Andy, take care, mate. If you need to jump, just jump. It's fine, no worries, man. But we're always talking about couple of years. Funny thing is, Spurs will get better immediately if we buy what we need now. Like, buy what you need for now. Paulinho is for now. Kudus is for now, right? Man United bought Cunha and Mbuemo for now. Like, they didn't buy them and go, oh, well, in 3 years. And I just think we need to develop into that club rather than, oh, I knew there was something in him. Like, oh, good God. Like, that's where I'm at with it, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only person recently I could see that was Mickey. Mickey, you sort of knew once a couple of games, you thought, yeah, he's decent. And, you know, we don't have enough, as you said, the Paulinhos, the Kudos, the Mickeys, them type of quality players who have made a difference straight away by putting it, you know, into the side.
Mate, absolutely. See, fair. You bring in a Romero, he goes straight in at the back, right? You brought in a Porro, he goes straight in at right back. Fine. But then the others, you know, you brought in a Dogi, you needed to go out on loan first, right? Papasar was signed, needed to go and have a couple of years on loan, right? You got, you know, Tell and Odegaard, we're told give them 2-3 years. Cool. Graham Bergvall, within a couple of years, you're all going to regret your words. Like, oh, are we a training ground for young players, or are we a Champions League European football team? Do you know what I mean? And that's what I don't understand about half this fan base. I don't get what we're asking for.
I mean, I know Angus in the chat, and me and him have been joking. He said, I can't wait for you to play Tell and Odegaard. And then you hear some other YouTubers and people saying, you know what, if Frank doesn't get anything from Arsenal like that, what do you expect?
Have a look at what Arsenal have done, right? Let's be brutally honest about this, right? Have a look at all of Man United's signings. Raya goes straight in as number 1. Timber goes straight in as their fullback. Calafiori, I know he had injuries, straight in as their fullback, right? Saliba was the only one I think that went out on that. Gabriel went straight in, right? Declan Rice, Subamendi, Eze, right? Straight in. Gyökeres, straight in. Arsenal are buying players that are better than what they had and that are going straight into the team. And that is what we need to do. I know we did it this summer especially with Kudus and Paulinho, and to an extent Simmons. And we've got to do that now with all our signings, Mark. I don't want to go and buy another left winger where they're young, haven't really done anything, and we go, oh God, we've got to wait 3 years. I don't want another young striker that we go, well, he's promising, because that's not what the big clubs do. And surely we want to be a big club, don't we? Isn't that the aim?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want somebody of Kudus level or better to challenge Kudus. Staying with Paulinho, staying with Mickey. You want players of that ability, if not better, so those guys can get a rest on the bench. Also, they're challenging for their own team in the spot, you know, so they lift their game. If there's nothing on the bench, you're not pushing anybody, you're not challenging it. You know, as I said, we've got a squad, and that's it. There's nothing. I mean, we'd take all of Arsenal's bench right now to put into our first team.
Oh, of course. I mean, look, this is what I look at when I look at the Premier League, right? I think there's you won't see it after 11 games, because I think that you know, there's not enough of points have been amassed to show the golfing class. Once you get to 20 odd games, I think what you start to see is, and I know this is such a cliche, but cream rises to the top, Mark, right?
Yeah.
The cream rises more often than not. And there are seasons where teams have a bad year, but more often than not, the best teams finish in that top 4 because they got the best footballers, right?
Yeah.
And I look at definitely the top 3, City,
Mhm.
Liverpool, and Arsenal, and I think we are. I mean, I want to say miles, but we are. There's a chasm, right?
Adam, yeah.
Chelsea. I think the difference is, whilst Chelsea don't have some of the world class players the others have, they've got loads of good players. I think we are, as I've said all summer, I think we are in the same boat as Newcastle, Villa, and Man United. That is the group for me that I think we're in, where we're nowhere near the big 4, but we're with that other 4 that are going to be competing for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. That's what I think we are.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Villa the other day, and Onana and people like they're powerful, big, strong, proper men.
Athletes.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, at the start of the season, I was like, if we come 8th to 10th, it's progression. I'd be happy. This we want it now. I want it yesterday. I want it now. This is going to take a long time, Spurs fans. You're just going to have to ride it through. It's going to take a long time.
I agree. I listen. There's nothing I didn't say all summer. This is, and again, it doesn't matter that it's Thomas Frank.
No,
whichever manager had come in, it's going to take time, and we're sitting here like so disappointed when we don't win games, and that's fine. It's cool to be disappointed when you don't win games, but I wasn't expecting us to hit the ground running. I wasn't expecting us to suddenly go from a team that lost loads of games to a team that don't lose any. Doesn't happen. Oh, my mate Samuel's in here. Hang on, you're contradicting yourself. You want to give Frank time, or no, you have too much experience and needs time, but you don't want to get players who need time. What are you not understanding? Right? I can't even do it. I can't even do it with him. Especially when I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, Mark. I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm not going to do it with him. But you're right. This is the thing. When I said this on a show the other day, when I watched Aston Villa at the weekend, for me, I would put our squad on par with Villa. But what I think Villa have got over us is experience.
Mm-hmm.
I looked down that 11 at the weekend, and I'll tell you what, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Aston Villa's team over the weekend, right? Let's see how many kids they played. Let's see how many lightweight players they played. Let's go to Sofa Score, Aston Villa, right? And hang on, Aston Villa, there we go. Aston Villa schedule, there we go. Players, matches, no, there we go. What was their last game? They won 4-0, didn't they? That was their last game. So here you go. This was Aston Villa's team, right? See if I can bring this up. Oh, go away, pop-ups. They're so annoying. Right. So this was Aston Villa's team, right? And again, you look at it. Hang on, let me blow that up. Sorry, one sec. Oh, these pop-ups do my head in. They really do. So you look at that team, right? Emi Martinez in goal, right? Digne, vastly experienced. Torres, vastly experienced. Same with Konsa. Same with Cash, right? And the one thing I said as well, look at the fullbacks. They're actual fullbacks. They're not wing backs. They are fullbacks, right? You then look at that midfield 3 of McGinn, Onana, and Kamara, right? Men, experienced players, leaders, men, powerful. Then you've got Rodgers, who's probably the only young-ish player there, but again, powerful. Yeah. And I would say that Buendia and Watkins are the 2 that aren't the powerful players, right?
Yeah.
But you then compare that to what we put out with people like Brennan Johnson and Tell and Odeberg, right? Sarr, Gray and Berg. You look at this, they're a powerful team, Mark. They've got experience in there. Now, I'm not saying they're better than us. That's not my point here. But I feel like we need this. I feel like we've gone so far the other way with frail footballers. frail. Like, where's the experience? Where's the men? Where's the power, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, you've only got to look at some of where our signs have come from. Burnley, Forest. We don't seem to buy from the top club. So Arsenal's second string players, we don't ever seem to get them. Man City's second string players, we don't seem to get them. Chelsea, you know what I mean? We don't seem to get. It's always from the lower end of the table. Yeah. And a lot of the time, I'm sorry, this is what you're going to end up with. Not great footballers. But we need power. We need six. Well, we said that Thuram or whatever, the midfielder, 25, 30 million did he cost for Juve?
Oh, Thuram at Juve, yeah. I mean, the one I like is, Manu Kone.
Roma.
Roma. I mean, this is why when people ask why I was annoyed about Archie Gray, this is what Manu Kone went last summer for 30, if I'm not wrong, I think it's like 25 to 30 million euros. And strong, powerful. Like, I think he's 23, 24. Like, you know, I want us to go and buy, like, people are getting like Onana of Villa. Onana's a unit. Onana's powerful in that midfield, right? There's presence about him. Then you look at ours. Like, I look at Sarr. He's like a skinny,
kid.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's like a skinny stick. Gray, same. Johnson on the wing. There's just no, you know, Odegaard and Tell that between all of them, even Simmons. There's no. Where's the power?
Yeah. I mean, Andy said about the money, or I think it was the guy before said about these big signings or whatever. I don't think we need big signings of money-wise. I don't think we need smart signings. I think there's a lot of players you can get through that 25 to 50 million who would revolutionise this squad. You don't need the 100 millions. We need smart signings, like you've just mentioned, mate. Locatelli wouldn't be that much.
Don't. Yeah, I love Locatelli. I watched Locatelli play for Juve, and that's everything I like in a midfielder. Just the ability to cool, calm, composed, put your foot on the ball. I'll dictate. I'll pull the strings. I'll be the puppet master, right? And Mark, you've seen me say this loads of times. I truly believe until we get that guy in midfield, I think we're gonna always be a team that flatter to deceive. But you look at, I use Villa. The reason I use Villa as an example is because I there's no point using City as an example. Yeah. There's no point using Liverpool as an example, right? But Aston Villa picked up Tielemans on a free, right? Glenn Kamara, no, not Glenn, Boubacar, isn't it? Which one is he? Is he Boubacar? Whichever Kamara it is, on a free. They picked up John McGinn for £2.5 million. And I'm looking at this and going, now look at what we've spent on our now look at what we spend. It's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. I don't know, mate. I don't know. But Juve last year, when they were letting players go for fun because they had no money and people were decimating their squad, Danny and I were sitting here every day in the summer window going, get Locatelli. Nope. Nah, wouldn't do it in the Premier League. Zubimendi. I heard this. Zubimendi wouldn't do it in the Premier League as Arsenal are sitting, 4 points clear at the top and he plays every game. Yeah. Like,
as the old mate Eugene says, it's a farmers' league, or everything but the Premier League's a farmers' league.
There's so many as well, and I think, listen, I watch a lot of football, Mark. You can imagine how happy my wife is with that.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of football, and you know, you see so many good players across all of these leagues, and all you hear from fans that don't watch any other leagues is, could he do it in the Premier League? It's like, oh my God, the whole league's foreign.
Yeah.
The whole fucking league is foreign, Mark. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you've watched enough football, there's this, that the player does something, the technique, the way he brings down the ball, the way he shifts feet. You just know, you've watched, 35, 40 years of watching football, you just know, regardless of what leagues, you just know that players got that little bit in them. And I'm afraid Spurs recruitment for a long time now has been very, very poor.
Well, Mark, I said the other day, and I got a few messages in my YouTube. There's YouTube comment section after the show, right? When the show finishes, and I got a lot of abuse for this. I turned around and said, other than Van der Ven and Romero, Kudus, Paulinho, Xavi Simons, and Maddison, there's no one that I would wake up tomorrow if they'd been sold that I'd say, I cannot believe Spurs have let that player go. Now, that's not to say I don't like any of them, but there's no one outside of those 6 or 7 I've mentioned that I'm precious about. And I don't think if you spoke to Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, or City fans, that they would say the same, right? They'd probably keep 18 to 20 of them. I would keep 6 to 7. What does that say?
Yeah, as I said, I remember the time when Van der Vaart left and we all gutted and people like that. I just think there's just levels, and a lot of these footballs that are now playing for the Spurs shirt just ain't even at any of these levels. So, yeah, we seem to. Spurs was always renowned for having really good footballers and good goal scorers, and I think we're so far away from that. It's a bit embarrassing now when we start and tell Richie Odeber, Solankis, and people like that. Now we've spent a ridiculous amount of money for.
I agree. I mean, questions need to be asked, and I know we're in a new era now, or we hope we're in a new era. We'll find out soon, but questions need to be asked when you think that in the last 3 years we've managed to sign Richarlison, Solanke, Johnson, Tell, Odeber, Gray, Bergval, Sarr. Like, I'm looking across all of these players and going, at what point did anyone go, these are players that elevate us? Like, these are players that are better than what we've got. I find it so difficult. And one thing I think we're seeing now that I don't think enough people take into account is Thomas Frank is the first manager in the last decade that hasn't had Kane or Son. Right? Now, that's fine. Things move on. That's fine. But I think what we're seeing is now how much those two papered over crack after crack after crack. Is that fair or?
Yeah, I think Spurs got lazy and rested in their laurels because they always knew they had Kane and Son there to bail them out. And since then, we don't have them type of players to bail us out. So it's the football has to be different. And I know Spurs fans go on about it. If you can't win, you're better off not losing. And, Spurs have a very good defence. So why would you take away from the defence to try and attack more when we don't have attacking players? I don't understand that.
But the word I keep hearing is risk. And the thing is, I was speaking to my uncle about this today, Mark. I was like, what players have we got that are risk takers? Like, what players, if you're Man City and you go, oh God, we're losing 1-0. Right. Okay. I want to get Doku, Savio, Marmoush, Foden, and Haaland all on the pitch at once. Now you're taking some risks. But if you're Spurs, you're going, right, I want to get Tell, Odeber, Johnson, and Richarlison all on the pitch at once. Like, where is it that these people risk doesn't suddenly mean quality? Risk means what? Risk is what Ange did. Well, risk is what Ange did. Everyone goes forward and leaves you open at the back.
Yeah. All people have got to do, if they haven't already, is watch Doku at Man City rip players apart. And that is the quality or level that we are sadly lacking, I'm afraid.
I'll tell you what. I said last year, I said, Doku's getting better.
You did, yeah. You did.
And people did their usual. Usual. No, look, he is unplayable. When that boy plays, and the thing is, he's always had it. You've always been able to see it, the raw skill. But now he's adding goals and assists to his game as well. Look.
I said, I'm going to give you another player as well. Look at Garnacho at Chelsea. We don't want him there. We don't want him at Spurs.
all day long. Again, look who, you know, yeah, Destiny. Doku is proving that some players need time to settle, need a year to settle. But Destiny, whenever you watch Doku, you saw he had it. With ours, I don't see that they've got it. Like there's a huge difference, right? There's a reason why City got him. And Reece, by the way, yeah, Lucas Moura, yeah, but I'm talking about year after year after year, game after game after game. Kane and Son bailed out Jose. They bailed out Mourinho. They bailed out Nuno. Like for years and years, we've been able to be poor in other areas of the pitch, and you get away with it because Kane and Son can do something. As a club now, we don't have that. And that is why in the summer, I mean, you probably saw me lose my shit, Mark, in the summer going,
yeah,
got to sell Son, got to replace him, got to replace him, got to replace. Oh, we tried. What do you mean you tried? You've got to replace him, mate. Got to.
Yes, as soon as they knew he was going, in sort of April, May, June time, they should have been tapping somebody up and actually bang, big signing, quality signing, left. There you go. We should have bought 4 or 5 players in the first month or so, not wait till the last week or last day of the window. Let's be honest, Simmons and Moani could have just end up nowhere near ready because of the lateness of them coming in the window.
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, we do this a lot though as a fan base. Like, I mean, players we talked about in the summer. Would you want Rashford? No. Seems good enough for Barcelona, but not good enough for Tottenham. Would you want Garnacho? No. Good enough for Chelsea, not good enough for Tottenham, right? When we don't have a proper left winger. How many of these we've done this down the years? We've done this down the years time and time again. Don't want him, don't want him, don't want him. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. We've got fans saying now they wouldn't want Conor Gallagher. I'm looking at Conor Gallagher compared to our midfielders and going, get him in. Yeah, yes, but I'm not saying he's my first choice, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it happened. It happened with another player from Leicester called Mahrez. I said we should sign him. We need to sign someone like that. No, don't want him. Went to Man City. Look what he did.
Oh, man. We seem to have this. We seem to listen. First of all, I get it. It's not the fans signing the players, right? I get it. I'm not saying it is, but we seem to look at some very average footballers within and hype them up. And then we look at much better players from without and say, not for Spurs. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, I don't know if it's because you have to be some sort of proper fan or true fan. You have to rate your own players, but anybody else you can't rate because then you won't be such a Spurs fan or a proper fan.
Yeah, you're not a real fan if you say something nice about players elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think that bringing this full circle, because I don't want to go forever tonight, but bring this full circle. We'll go for another 7, 8, 9 minutes if that's all right, Mark. If you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, fine.
Bringing it full circle, I think this is going to take a while, and this is why when people are saying to me, "Oh, you're just defending Frank," this could be Frank, this could be Sam Allardyce, this could be Neil Warnock, whoever is in that hot seat. This is going to be a long. Don't like the word project. This is going to be a long process, right? This is going to be a lot of summers are going to be needed to basically what Frank, Lang, and Paratici are doing now is undoing years and years of no planning, poor signing, and bringing in too many young players. Now what we've got to do is spend years and years and years shifting out players, bringing in better players, and actually putting a squad together that, I don't want to use the word compete, but putting a squad together that you go, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I like that. I want to stop pretending players are good, Mark. I want to stop pretending that every young player that plays for Spurs is going to be the next Harry Kane. I'm just getting a little bit just getting a little bit bored of this notion that every young player is great and deserves a chance.
He was definitely once in a generation, and I think that's what people need to get over. The Mikey Moores, this, that, and the other. Down the road, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody can tell. But he's 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million. He's our greatest ever player in 120 years. So, or the greatest goal scorer, to say, for Spurs in 120 years. To get one of them players the next 100 years would be a miracle. So people need to get over that.
I love it when people always use two players as the example. That if they're wide and left, they always use Gareth Bale as an example. And if they're a young striker, they use Kane as the example. How many young players turn into Harry Kane? I don't mean at Spurs, like anywhere. Right now, can anyone tell me a Premier League club, sod that, can anyone tell me a club anywhere in the world that is producing a young player like Harry Kane? Anyone can? There's a question for you, chat, right now. Who is producing a striker? Who has produced a striker like Harry Kane in the last 4 or 5 years, other than Erling Haaland?
Yeah, that's who I've gone for.
Right. And this is the problem. When people say things like, "Oh, give Scarlett a chance because he could be the new Kane," you're like, oh, really? Like anybody in the chat? I'll extend the question further. Does anyone in the chat tell me any teenagers that are playing regularly for their club this year in the Premier League that have come through the academy? Right? Great. This is the point, Mark. So our fans go on as though we're bad at this. We don't do this, right? No one's doing it. Who's doing it? Look, I mean, if you look, Man City, Nico Riley, right? Nico Riley is playing. I think he's now, what, 20, 21? Yeah. And they gradually integrated him over in the team in the last 2 years, right? And now he's a first-team player. Who else? Foden's like 25 years of age now.
Yeah.
Lewis Skelly is sitting on Arsenal's bench, coming on every now and then.
Yeah, Dowman as well, wasn't he?
Dowman's 15, coming off the bench every now and then.
Every now and again, yeah.
But my point is, this isn't Spurs. This is all clubs.
No.
I'm looking at all the Premier League clubs and going, we're the only ones who don't give our youth a chance. There's no pathway. Where's the pathway right now? Who's in the Chelsea team? Right now, you'd say Achampong has been getting games because they've got injuries at centre half, right?
Yeah.
You've got Liverpool, Connor Bradley, who's been in and around the first team for a few years now, but Connor Bradley is getting some games. Who else? Newcastle, Lewis Miley gets minutes every now and then in midfield. Who else? I mean, I think you have to go way back to the 90s for see consistent teenagers to be in sides. I don't think there are that many teenagers now playing. You used to get Theo Walcott and people like that. Now, like Wayne Rooney, obviously, and top quality players. But I don't think there's a top quality teenagers that there used to be 30, 20 years ago. They just ain't around. No, completely agree. And this is the problem. So when I hear the Spurs fans go, "Oh my God, more young players need to go, more young players," who's doing it? And if no one's doing it, why? Why is no one doing it? Is it because it's cutthroat? Is it because managers know that their tenure at a football club is minimal? So if I said to you, Mark, right, realistically, now, Danny, Adam Wharton was bought from Blackburn Rovers, right? Adam Wharton was bought from Blackburn, wasn't he? If I said to you, right, Mark, I'm hiring you, right, to be the manager of Spurs, you know realistically that the shelf life of a Premier League manager. I'll tell you what. Let's find this out. Let's find this out. What is the average tenure of a Premier League manager? Find out. Right, here you go. Okay, so the average tenure of a Premier League manager is 24 to 28 months. Right? Now, you got to think that's going to be skewed as well, because people like Pep Guardiola being at his club for 8-9 years push it right up, right? But if the average tenure is 2 years, right? In that 2 years, Mark, are you going to go, right, I'll tell you what I must do in these 2 years. I must develop 2 or 3 18-year-olds. Or are you thinking, hang on, I've got to win games immediately, and tough, right?
Yeah, you're always going to play your best players and your most consistent players. Let's be honest, Liverpool is always going to play Salah as long as he's still good. They're not going to pick an 18-year-old ahead of him because they know what Salah does. So they're always going to pick Salah.
No. You're not listening to the point here. This isn't about Richarlison. This is about it's cutthroat when picking which of these teenagers make it from under 21s to first team football. If the question was how shit is Richarlison, sure. But, you know, Richarlison was bought for big money as a pro footballer, breaking through from the Spurs under 21. So, for example, I watched the Spurs under 19s last week, Mark, against whoever they played in Europe. Good game, actually. I think we scored 3 or 4 goals. And you're sitting there going, yeah, some good players here. Good players. And if you ask fans, they'll go, he'll make it, he'll make it, he'll make it, he'll make it, he'll make it. He's highly rated. Problem is, you and I realistically know of the 5 or 6 that fans will tell you will make it from that under 19 team, you'll be lucky if 1 makes it. And I don't want that to sound harsh, Mark, because I've worked in
yeah, absolutely.
That's it. If you go to a training ground, right? Go to any football training ground, and they got their teams there. They got their players from the under 7s all the way up to the first team. There's just hundreds of kids everywhere, and there's young adults and proper grown men. You got all these footballers, and you think hardly any of these are going to make it. Like literally, you could take away the first team, look at everyone else, and go, those 2 might over the next 3 or 4 years. And that doesn't mean 3 or 4 won't get a couple of appearances, but in terms of actually going on to be a consistent first team player for years to come, it doesn't happen a lot, and fans hate that.
Yeah, I don't know why though. I mean, I know there's a big affinity like with Ledley King and people like that, and Harry Kane because they made it through, and this, that, and the other. You know, it's a great, but as I said, we could count on our hand even less than that. In the last 30 years, how many actual people have gone through the academy and made an actual first team career at Spurs? It doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, but see, this is where we get caught up. Now people talking about you'd rather see Lancashire or Scarlett instead of Richarlison. Be careful what you wish for. Because, first of all, we've seen both Lancashire and Scarlett at Oxford. I've seen Scarlett in the Spurs team. And again, what we're doing is projecting, Mark, for me.
Yeah.
We all don't rate Richarlison, I get that. But we're projecting, because we don't rate Richie, we're elevating Scarlett because of it. Scarlett is not good enough to be a Tottenham Hotspur player.
No.
Right?
Not
he is not good enough. I'll bet my bottom dollar Dane Scarlett doesn't ever score more than 20 goals for this football club.
Oh, no, not even 10. I don't think he'll get 10.
Right?
No.
But what we're doing is, right, we are elevating them because of the first team players not being good enough. Right? Now, most clubs, if your first team players aren't good enough, you go out and buy what you need. Right?
Yeah.
Richarlison, he should never have been bought. Ever. Should never have been bought. But first, a proper club, now you go, right, Richie, you're not in our plans. Right. I'm just using, for example, Jonathan David, Vlahovic, whoever. You're in. But what we can't do is just go, this first team player is shit. that must mean this youth player is good enough.
Yeah.
Because Thomas Frank, Ange, right, Jose, these players would have watched Scarlett in training every week. None of them to date have thought he's good enough to play. So why is that?
Well, it's the same as when he's on loan as well. He always seems to be on the subs bench or this. Maybe that Spurs fans are going to have to just admit that maybe he just ain't good enough.
But we don't. We don't. What we've done is we've elevated him. I'm seeing this so much now over the last couple of weeks. We know Richie's not good, but you also know, for example, against Arsenal, you're not going to start Dane Scarlett over Richarlison. Again, that's not me. I don't rate him, Mark. You know I don't rate him. You're not gonna get to a North London derby away at Arsenal, the best team in the country, and say, Scarlett, you start instead of Richard. You're not. I just don't care. I don't care who the manager is. I think you'd be absolutely mental to do that. I really do.
But you know as well as I do, the same fans who say, get Scarlett going to play, Scarlett plays, and then they'll be saying, why didn't Richie play? I can't believe he's not picked Richie.
What did Frank do? He got the team wrong.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm seeing people saying, right, I want to see Odegaard left. I want to see Tell up front or Scarlett up front. I want Bergvall in the 10. I want Gray in the middle. And I'm looking and going, is this really what we want to see against? Like, is this really what we want to see on again? I don't get it. I just want us to act like a proper club.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to see that in a League Cup match, let alone against Arsenal. I mean, Angus would be rubbing his hands if he saw that, and so would Arteta, mate.
Mate, listen, I think if you're going to play Dane Scarlett, right, Dane Scarlett plays against, I don't know, you draw Preston in the FA Cup, right? I don't know. We can talk about this again. Like, yeah, I know we can keep saying he needs loans, but wherever he's been on loan,
he's not good.
He doesn't score any. It's not that he scored a few. I think he got like 3 or 4 in the last 2 years out on loan, and you've got to ask questions, Mark.
We had the same thing with Parrott, didn't we? The Irish international Parrott, exactly. You know, we've had it before. We've had it millions of times with players.
Sorry, I keep providing extreme examples. In what way? I don't think I've provided any extreme example. I'm talking about our next game is Arsenal. I don't want to see him playing against Arsenal. I listen, you and I both know, Mark, whatever Thomas Frank does to bring it full circle, whatever he does, people are not gonna like it. Whatever he does, if he plays Porro instead of Spence, should have been Spence. Spence instead of Udogie should have been Udogie, right? If he plays Bentancur instead of Sarr, should have been Sarr. If he plays Sarr, it should have been Bentancur. If he plays Johnson, shouldn't have been him. It should have been Tell. But if he plays Tell, it should have been Johnson. This tells me that we don't have a good first 11. The fact that all of us think the best first... Here you go. Let's try this. Right? Guys, in the chat, what is Spurs' best 11 with who's fit? Now, you can have Kudus as fit because I believe he'll be back. But we know Mwani's out. What is the best 11 to take on Arsenal? So Mwani's not fit. Gray's not fit. But Bergvall and Kudus will be back. So what is the best 11 to take on Arsenal? All right? And to this point, okay, so we play Fulham at home and we play Scarlett. We give him a chance because we're a charity. And we don't beat Fulham. Got the team wrong. Can't believe he did this in a must-win game. This is the difficulty with just giving... I don't think this kid's anywhere near good enough to play for a championship team up front.
I'll tell you this, and you all know this more than anybody. You can always tell when you've got good players or your players are playing well because big clubs get linked with them, as in Mickey van der Ven with Real Madrid at the moment and Berbatov with United and Modric with Real Madrid. How many players at the moment with Spurs are linked with big clubs? Only one, Mickey van der Ven. That's it.
Yeah, for a reason, right?
Yeah,
for a reason.
absolutely.
So Scott's gone with Vicario, Spence, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, Paulinho, Bentancur, Simmons. I don't care. See, as much as Scott's being facetious, this is the point.
No,
like,
exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the best 11 is. Rick has gone with Vic, Porro, Romero, see, so straight away. So he's gone for a very different team. So he's gone for a different back four to thingy. Guys, get your 11s in. I'm trying to prove a point here, right? You know, no, look, Rodney, you're doing that thing again. You're not. He always does this lad. The point I'm making is I would start him versus a Preston. I wouldn't want to start him versus a Premier League team right now. So get your 11s in. I want to see the 11s. So he's gone with Vicario, Spence, VDV, Romero, Porro. So everyone the other day was complaining about Udogie, but now in the first two of the first three teams we've seen, people have left Udogie out. Paulinho, Bentancur, Sarr, Xavi, Kudus, Richie. So far, Mark, we've seen 3 examples of 11s, and they've all been different. Why? Because we don't have a best 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
have a best 11.
No.
We could do this all night, right? We could do this all night. How many teams are going to be different? But yet, when Thomas Frank picks the 11, no one's happy.
No, we
played about 11 minutes against a team that were 4-2 down. Come on, we've got no standards, Mark. I'm telling you, we've got no standards.
That's it. No. As I said, mate, get all the new fans watching YouTube or whatever, Jurgen Klinsmann and people, Ginola, people, Van der Vaart, people like that. I'm sorry. I've never known a fan club champion for Dane Scarlett to start for Spurs.
I think we're in dangerous waters when we're doing this. And as I've said, I can't even take credit for this. Perchy says this. There is currency in not playing. When you don't play, fans remember you better than you actually are.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a good player like Maddison, we know what Maddison's all about.
Yeah.
So many of these, when they don't, like when Johnson wasn't getting starts, everyone goes, cool, missing Johnson. When Johnson plays now, everyone goes, Johnson's shit. Do you know, like you can't mark, you can't win.
What was the other classic? We should start a back three. We haven't got three centre backs. Well, you're supposed to play 3 in the back then.
So let's have a look at some of the other teams, right? Let's see. I reckon they're all going to be different. So big up Bobby. He's gone with Vicario, Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Bentancur, Paulinho, Simmons, Odegaard, Tell, Kudus. So again, he's gone with a different back 4 and a different front 3. Cole has gone with Vic, Spence, Romero, VDV, Udogie. So a different back 4 to Bobby, Paulinho, Bentancur, Xavi, Kudus, Odegaard, Richie. So again, look, that's Kudus, Odegaard, Tell. You see what I mean? We as a fan base don't know our best 11.
No, I wouldn't be
when he tries different 11s. It's madness.
I wouldn't be surprised, be shocked to everybody. And this game went to a back 3. I think this. I know we've only got the 3, but I would not be surprised if we went to a back 3 just in this game.
By the way, Lord Rodney, the link is in the community post. The link is in the community post for all members, and you are a member. You should be able to see it, my man. It's crazy, isn't it? Like Vicario, Udogie, VDV, Romero, Spence. See, some people want Udogie left back and Spence right back. Some want Udogie left back and Porro right back. Some want Porro at right back and Spence at left back. We're all so divided on everything.
Yeah, I mean, old Johnny was saying he wants Porro right wing again the other day I was hearing. So what can he do?
You know, and then so then Alfie going, well, Odegaard has to start on the left, but loads of these teams have left Odegaard out. Some have got him in. If you ask me right now, what's our best 11? I genuinely could tell you, I think our best back 4, I think our Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. Bentancur, Paulinho, Simmons, Kudus. All of the rest, I don't really. Yeah. All of the others. That's why when Richie starts, I don't lose my rag. When Johnson starts, I don't lose my rag. When Odeba, I the link, guys. Mark, it's in there, right? I sent it in the.
Yeah. I've sent it's in there.
People have found the link. Come on, have a look at the last post on my YouTube community page.
Bring them in, as I said. I'll go. As I said, that you need some different ideas. Bring them in.
Listen, the link is there. Look, so it's a real difficult one, right? I think back in the day, especially under Poch, everyone knew what the best 11 was after the first year.
Easy.
Only after the first year, by the way.
It
took Poch a year.
Yeah, absolutely,
to get that team together, right? And you get Phil. See, good argument. I'm not disagreeing with you, Phil. But if he plays Spence instead of Udogie at left back, what will happen, Phil? You and I both know, buddy. What will happen if he does that?
He's too pragmatic and boring.
This is the problem. See, okay, this person so this person's gone with a back five. Big up whole Spurs. Gone with a back five. I'm not against seeing a back five in this game. But again, got to have centre-backs fit. Because the only problem is I've got nothing against the back five. If Spurs go into a back five or a back three, whatever you want to call it, Mark, and they train all week to play that way against Arsenal, and then in the first 10 minutes, Danso, Romero, or Mickey go down injured, and you've got no centre-half on the bench, suddenly everything you've trained for all week goes out the window. That's why I think you've got to be really careful. Lord Rodney Trotter.
There you go. Right. I'll leave you to have it with your new guy.
All right, Mark. Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All right, Saba.
Hello, mate. So we're in the Scarlet fan club now, are we? We're doing the Scarlet fan club.
I'm definitely in the Scarlet fan club.
Why?
Why not? Why not?
No.
Who else have we got to be in the fan club of? Richarlison?
No, it's not about being in the Richarlison fan club, but Richarlison is an international player, and so is Matisse Tell. Surely those two would get the nod above Scarlet against Arsenal, surely.
But are we not just clinging on to, we've got to play this guy because we're paying him a fortune, we paid a fortune, and we've got to get a fee back for him, rather than just going, it's not working, he's a net negative. Why not just give someone who it's only going to be a positive giving them a game? If you play Scarlett against Fulham, for example, and he puts in a 6 out of 10, we win the game. That's only if we lose the game, it's a negative. But if we win the game and he plays all right, we'll go, well, he's had a bit of experience. Clubs can look at him, might get a fee for him. Obviously, if he comes in, scores a goal, and then's like, oh, I want 50 grand a week, that's obviously not a positive, but
yeah, I mean, against Arsenal away, I do not want to see Dane Scarlett starting the top.
But that's a ridiculous. Like, that's just crazy talk, isn't it? Obviously, against Arsenal, it's the toughest match of the year.
But that's what people are suggesting, mate. People are suggesting it.
No, that is ludicrous.
I mean, it's madness. It's absolutely madness. The problem is, I get it, right? I get it. He had a good cameo when he came on against Copenhagen. But I always say this, there's a huge difference between a cameo and leading the line from minute 1 to minute 90. And especially against Arsenal. I mean, let's be fair. As much as we don't like them, Gabriel and Saliba are pretty good, right? It's a pretty good centre-back partnership, isn't it?
But that's the thing, like, there's no one you can really play. I mean, how many, they've conceded 0 goals in 5 games or something against all these different attackers. Maybe you do just play Scarlett. Maybe he surprises them. Maybe he gets a lucky deflection and scores a goal. You don't know.
Yeah,
I'd rather back. I'd rather back Scarlett than the other lot, and I'd be more inclined to buy it. Let's say Scarlett scores 10 goals or 7 goals between now and the end of the season. I'm more inclined to buy a Scarlett shirt and support Dane Scarlett than I am the other bunch of idiots who I don't even like. Like I don't even like Richarlison.
Mate, listen, not one bit of me likes Richarlison as a player, not as a person, as a player, right? This isn't about their personality.
Yeah. No,
Right?
I don't know. I don't know Richarlison personally. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you see though? Do you see that Scarlett just goes in ahead of Matisse Tell? Do we really see that happening? Oh, it's a great pose that you've frozen in. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but that is a wonderful pose. I'm going to take a photo. Oh no, you've unfrozen. That was a great pose. Do you truly see him? Do you truly see them turning around and going, Tell, you're not starting?
No, because that comes back to my point, because they spent all this money on them. If Matisse Tell came through our academy, how many games would he be playing? Like Damola Ajayi. We'd be nowhere to be seen. Same with Archie Gray. He'd be in there with Alfie Devine. He wouldn't even be playing.
Do you think Scarlett is better than Tell? There's the question.
I haven't seen enough of Scarlett. I'd like to see more of him. And not playing for Burton Albion or Oxford or whoever. I want to see him in the strongest 11 against a Fulham or a Burnley or a whoever. Do you know what I mean? A lower team. And then have a look.
I get that. But I mean, isn't it? Don't you think it's quite sad that we're at this stage where we're having to debate Richarlison, Tell, and Scarlett? Doesn't that show how badly we've signed for years? That is what we're discussing.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the situation you're in when life gives you lemons. Make lemonade, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's Joe has said Scarlett has played 61 minutes for Spurs in the Premier League ever, and supporters want him to start against Arsenal. He's nearly 22. Why has no manager seen the talent? Now, this is a good point. I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier on the phone. He is in the chat, but I won't mention him in case he doesn't want me to. And he said, when people say things like, just give him a chance, right? We say, just give him a go. He can't do any worse. Don't we have to take into account that the manager sees these players in training every day and has decided you're not good enough?
I don't think that's true, though.
What do you mean?
Call me a conspiracy theorist. I believe the manager has some sort of obligation to play the players that are being paid the bigger money. And I genuinely believe that, because we've seen it with every manager. And we see it with every manager in all of the clubs, apart from a few.
Okay, but name me then with
there's
this
a financial obligation.
So with this conspiracy, then name me a player that hasn't played because he wasn't signed for money that was better than someone that was signed for money.
I can't even follow that train of thought, Sam.
Oh, hang on, you're saying the conspiracy is that the players that we've spent money on will play because the manager has to play them because they cost money rather than the youth player.
Yeah.
I'm asking, when has a youth player deserved to start in front of one of these players that's been signed and was better than them?
I don't know, to be honest, but I think there's pressure. There's pressure. There might not be like you have to play them, but there's like pressure of, hold on a minute, we're paying him $100,000 a week. We've got all these sponsorships expecting to see him. He's a Brazilian international. We paid 60 million for him. He's played in these other Premier League teams. No, you can't play Dane Scarlett instead of Richarlison. You've got to play Richarlison, and the manager sort of not been told it, but there's pressure there. Did you not think that's the case? Because like Matisse Tell, how many opportunities has Matisse Tell been given? Right. Whereas you look at our youth academy players that cost nothing, they're on peanuts. They've not been given those opportunities while playing horribly.
Sure.
Because Matisse Tell, the first 20 games, 25 games, he was horrific.
But who, again, I'll ask this question. This is the thing. There's got to be an answer. For your theory to be proved right, there's got to be some substance behind it. Which of these young players are good enough and deserves the chance? Which have you seen? I'm watching some of these young players when they're out on loan. They're decent. I haven't watched a single one of them out on loan and gone, you should be in the first 11 for Tottenham Hotspur.
Depends on your definition. Depends on your definition of good enough, doesn't it? Because are they good enough to take? Are they good enough to take?
Good enough to play in the first 11 for Tottenham? Who on loan right now? Name me one Spurs youth player out on loan who's good enough to be in this 11.
There's only really two I can think of.
Go on, I can't think of any. Go on.
I think I would play Ajayi over maybe Odebert. I'll play him on the left.
Okay.
And Will Lancashire, I'd give him a go.
But are they? Is Will Lancashire better than Mawani, Richarlison, and Tell? There's the question you've got to ask.
He's definitely not better than Mawani, no.
Okay, but I would argue from watching Will Lancashire that he's not better than Tell either or Richarlison. Listen, again, we don't rate Richarlison, but Will Lancashire, have you watched Will Lancashire for Oxford? I've watched him a few times this year.
He's looked all right.
Right, okay, but there's a huge difference. He's got in a couple of good areas and got some tap-ins and stuff like that. That's brilliant. But as a footballer, an all-round footballer, I don't ever watch Lancashire and go, yeah, you could cope with the Premier League. Physically, his movement, hold up. But it's
the same with Matisse Tell. Apart from a couple of decent shots outside the box, he doesn't pass. His passing's not great.
But you're talking to me as though I rate Matisse Tell. You're talking to me as though I rate.
Those are the options, aren't they? Those are the options. Like I'd rather see a player that I like.
The question is, in your mind, and it needs to be a definite answer, or there's no debate. Okay. Is Will Lancashire better than Matisse Tell to start up front for Tottenham? Is Ajayi better than Wilson Odebert?
Probably not, but I'll never know that.
Right. But don't we give Thomas Frank the credit, the guy who sent them on loan, to say he can see that this guy's not ready. He can see that this other guy's not ready. Like
I do trust Frank. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a very good manager. I think he's a very intelligent person. But I do think that sometimes these managers are getting restricted in what they're allowed to do. Sure,
but for that to be true, you'd need to. You still haven't named an out-and-out player on loan. He is better than what we've got. This is the thing. I have this. You've probably seen. I have this debate with.
But the thing is, we have seen this before with like Chelsea, for example, and all the players that they were sending on loan, and a lot of them turned out to be good enough. Now, I'm not going to do the extreme examples, but
like who?
Well, like Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah.
Yeah, but very different, mate. First of all, hang on. First of all,
I'm just saying the devil's playing devil's advocate here.
That's not what devil's advocate is. Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah didn't come through the Chelsea youth team for a start, so that's not the same. Second of all, Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah were in a Chelsea squad full of top footballers, right? Mm-hmm. So at the time, whether or not Jose Mourinho, I think it was Jose, that didn't think they were good enough for the first team, look at the players he had to pick in front of them at the time. They weren't the De Bruyne and Salah that we now know and love. They were the De Bruyne and Salah as youngsters. But my point is this. We
could have one of those in our academy.
Sure. But I'm asking this question, right? I'm asking the chat as well. Who out on loan is better than anyone in our first 11?
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Who out on loan is playing at a good level?
Vuskovic.
Okay, Vuskovic. Vuskovic
Yeah.
is on loan in the Bundesliga.
But he's definitely not better. He's definitely not better than Romero or Van der Ven.
Sure. Okay, so we can remove Vuskovic, right?
Yeah.
So now, who is playing at the top level of any of our other youth players? Are any of them on loan in the Premier League?
None of them are they? I don't think.
Why? So why? So don't you have to ask yourself the question, why?
Because people can't afford to take risks on them because in their own clubs, they've got their own problems with their own squad management.
Okay, so now who out on loan is playing for a team at the top of the Championship?
None of them again. But again, same thing. You look at Leeds.
There's a few. There's a few. Alfie
is there?
Devine is.
Okay.
Is. But Alfie Devine's not going to get in front of the players that are in front of him in the first 11 at Tottenham right now. Is he?
No.
Right. So the other one playing at the top half of the table is Phillips on loan at Stoke. Again, he's not getting in above Danso or Vuskovic or Van der Ven. Now you start going down, don't you? Now you start going down. Lancashire's at the bottom of the Championship. You got Tyrese Hall, Ajayi, Abbott. They're all in League One, League Two. So all of these players that are out on loan because they weren't big money signings. I still haven't had an answer from you or anyone in the chat that any of them should be starting above any of our first team players. You got Mikey Moore on loan at Rangers.
Yeah.
Right.
But Rangers isn't really the best level, is it?
Okay, there you go. You got Yang Min Hyuk, who's at Portsmouth, but they're in the bottom half of the Championship. My point is, surely we get this right, is it's not that we don't want to see any youngsters do well, but you've got to prove yourself, right?
But also, we have seen
somewhere and show that you are top draw. Now, people always use the Harry Kane example, and it's so draining because Harry Kane is
no. I was just going to say, right, Scarlett is probably at the end of his rope, right? This is probably his last season, and the same with Richarlison. And I think Scarlett's what? How old is he? 20, 21, 22 now? Why not just give him 5 games? Like, pick out 5 games, look at the calendar, pick 5 games of decent level, and just put him in and see what he does. Why not?
Scarlett.
Because he's going to go. He'll probably be gone at the end of the season anyway. So why not just give him a chance? And maybe we have a. Wait. Okay, go on.
I'll tell you why. Imagine, and this is the difference between a football fan mindset and a manager of a professional football team. First and foremost, the just give them a go, isn't what happens at the elite level of sport. Secondly, if I am the manager of Tottenham Hotspur and I have got Solanke, Mawani, Tell, Richie, right, as my options for strikers, at no stage am I going to go, right, I'm going to tell all 4 of them that they are not playing today because Dane Scarlett is getting a go. Like,
I think you definitely should do that because they can all hold it because they're all been crap. They've all been crap. Apart from Mawani.
That's not
how
professional sport works, is it? That's not you. No manager is going to rock up to his first 4 choice strikers and say, all 4 of you are not playing today. This kid who's never done anything in the world of football is going to start in front of all 4 of you.
Apart from Mawani, which one of them are reliable? Which ones of them are reliable?
Listen, I don't think Solanke's amazing, but am I starting Solanke over Scarlett? Yes, every day of the week.
He's been injured for about a year.
Yeah, but that wasn't the point that you just. That wasn't what you were
He's
talking
not even
about.
fit. He's not even fit.
But listen to the words you said. You said pick out the 5 games, right? No.
At the moment, we've got Mawani, Tell and Richarlison, and Dane Scarlett.
Right now, you've got Tell, Richarlison, Scarlett, and Mawani could be available for Arsenal wearing a mask. Could be, right? At no stage am I going to turn around to Richarlison, Tell, and Mawani and say, all 3 of you are not playing.
Not against Arsenal, but against Fulham, right? Let's say Mawani's rested because he's injured. So the choices then are Richarlison, Tell, and Scarlett. And I don't see what's wrong with telling 18, 19-year-old Tell to sit on the bench. And I definitely don't see what's wrong with telling Richarlison, who doesn't have a future at the club anyway.
Okay.
He's not going to be here next year. Sit on the bench.
Okay. So in your mind, Scarlett does have a future at the club?
If he can prove himself. Richarlison's had 3 years.
Sure. But
If Richarlison comes in, if Scarlett comes in and scores 10 goals
he's not going to. He's not
in 20 games, he scores 10 goals in 20 games.
So
why would they not give him a contract?
Hang on, but can we bring this back to a position of common sense? Like we've gone so far into football manager syndrome here that this is unreal. In no shape or form is Scarlett ever going to get a run of 20 games in the first team for Tottenham when Solanke plays for the club and Tell and Mawani and Richarlison. There's not a chance that Thomas Frank's going to go, here, play 20 games. This is dream world. Surely
apart from Tell and Mawani, I think the other two are on thin ice anyway. I think Richarlison's out the door in the summer. I think Solanke, if he can't get fit, he'll be out the door. So I think those two, you're just wasting time with them anyway, aren't you?
Hang on. But first and foremost, you have no way of knowing that about Solanke. We've got no way of knowing because Solanke's not been fit for Thomas Frank, right? So that is speculation. Second of all, let's be fair. Of all the strikers at this club, Dane Scarlett is the worst, right? In terms of anything you've seen of them in their career, where they've played, goal scored, he is the worst. Whatever way, whether we like Richarlison,
he's one of our own.
Sure, but we're adults. This isn't. We're not kids in the playground going, he's one of our own. It doesn't matter if he's one of our own, right? We did this with Parrott. I remember having these conversations with people like Parrott, people like who's the young striker that's just gone, the double-barreled, Judson Sot Bell. We had this with Marcus Edwards. We had this with X player, Y player, Z player. We do this all the time. We get these young players that none of us have seen do anything, and we go, but could they? Well, surely.
But why I always say this is different to those situations is because we have a diabolical need for a striker. It's not like we're throwing them in and we've got tons of other options. It's we have a dire need in that position. So why not take a calculated risk, and it could pay off massively, or it could just be, oh well, that didn't work out. Do you know what I mean?
So he plays him. So in
I don't see Dane Scarlett losing us a game. It's not a goalkeeper. It's not a centre back. He's a striker. We don't score many open play goals anyway.
Well, we do score a lot of open play goals, yes.
Oh, but you're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs. My point is.
Hang on. You can't make an factually incorrect.
Okay, let's say we score 1 million open play goals. It doesn't matter.
You keep cutting me off every time I talk. It's getting really frustrating, right? You can't make up a statement that isn't true and then say I'm splitting hairs. Factually, most of our goals haven't been from set pieces this season, so that's not true.
Okay, so we score a lot of open play goals.
Yes.
Right. Okay, but will Dane Scarlett lose us a game of football?
Will Dane Scarlett win us a game of football?
How do we know that? We don't know that, do we? We've seen him twice. We've seen him twice in 18 months, and he won a penalty and scored a goal. So the evidence suggests he could win us a game.
There you go. This is the guy we want. Have a look at this.
All right. How many games for Tottenham? 4 games, 3 games.
Tottenham Hotspur has played 23 games.
23 games, and how many starts?
I don't know how many starts. Isn't there a reason why the age of 21 he's not had those starts?
I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been big enough. Maybe he hasn't been strong enough.
So can I ask you a question? So your whole theory is based on not what you know, but hope. Is that right?
None of us are going to know, are we? We don't know the ins and outs of the finer details of the club, do we?
Okay, but therein lies the difference, right? Is fans are now going to hope rather than evidence to say this player should start.
You've
Right?
got to have some hope, haven't you? You've got to have some hope.
Yeah, hang on. Yes, you've got to have some hope, but there's also got to be like I feel like all common sense is going out of the window. Like, just because we don't like Richarlison doesn't mean Dane Scarlett is a better footballer than Richarlison.
That's not my point, though, is it? My point is just why
But you're
can't
saying
we,
he should start in front of Richie and Tell.
why won't they give him a chance?
Maybe he's
Because
not.
because the last 2 appearances we've seen from him, he's been good, hasn't he?
You mean he came on against Elfsborg?
Has he been good? Has he been good? Yes or no? In your opinion, in those last 2 appearances, has he been good?
What, in 10-minute cameos?
Whatever the minutes were, has he been good? That's the question.
In 10-minute cameos,
Because
he did really
I know the question. I know the answer is yes. Obviously, I'm going to
answer it. You've asked me a question and don't let me answer it. He
All right.
came on the other night and he did really well to win the penalty. Yes, he did well to win the penalty. That's one movement in a game. That's very different to leading the line for 90 minutes in the Premier League. This is the thing. And youth coaches will tell you this. If you go to a Premier League club, they will tell you this. There's a huge difference between what you do at youth level and what you're now doing against the very best players in the league. This is not, this is not a let's just give everybody a chance sport. This is the Premier League.
We don't have that many options. This is a position where we're not blessed. We're not blessed in the striker position.
But we've still got 2 other options there.
Horrible options. So, in my opinion, if you ask the chat, I'll do a poll and say, who do you want to see start against Fulham? Richarlison, Tell, or Scarlett? And I guarantee you, Scarlett he will surprise you. He might not win it.
Of course it will, because right now, it's because of the emotion towards Richie, right? It's because of the emotion towards Richie, not because of what people have seen from Scarlett. That's the problem. We're projecting what we've seen. We've
seen Scarlett do all right.
We've seen Scarlett have a cameo and do one thing.
But Richarlison is not going to be here next year. And
neither will Scarlett.
Probably not.
So surely then the answer is Matisse Tell, isn't it? Like, this is, if you point it to your point of, well, Richarlison's not going to be here, cool. Well, Scarlett probably won't be here next year. So surely then that defaults to Tell. Now, again, let me just make this very clear. I don't want any of these 3 people at my football club. I don't think any of these 3 people are good enough to be at Tottenham, right? Yeah. I don't rate Richarlison. But how many managers in the world would drop Richarlison, a Brazilian international, for Dane Scarlett in a game in the Premier League? Not many.
But not many. But they should.
But they should, again, based on hope, not evidence.
I don't like Richarlison. I don't like to see him playing.
Neither do I. That's not the point, Lord Rodney. That's not the point. It's not. It's no. There's not me sitting here and going, oh my God, Tell and Richie are brilliant. I don't rate any of these forwards, but Tell is better than Scarlett. Right?
So Tell has played.
Then.
I'd rather see. I just don't want to see Richarlison.
And scored a couple of goals for Spurs in the Premier League this season. So why? I'll ask you, what's the argument for Scarlett to start over Tell?
Because I think he's played more centrally, hasn't he? Through his development.
So hang on. What?
In the nine position, whereas Tell's played on the wing as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, but in the last 2 Premier League games,
I don't mind to see Tell. I don't mind to see Tell. I just don't want to see Richarlison at all.
Sure, but I get it. But again, as I said, this is the difference between fans and professionals. This is the difference, right?
It's the same with Basuma, right? Look at Basuma.
Hang on, you've got to let me finish. Mate, you cut me off every sentence. It's really difficult. Every
All right.
sentence I'm being cut off, right? This is the difference, right? Dane Scarlett was sent back from loan from Oxford, right? He was sent back from loan from Ipswich, and this guy didn't score goals for these football clubs. We've had a number of managers that don't give him a game, but the fans now suddenly think that he is better than Tell and Richarlison. Don't know where that's come from.
In the time I've seen him, I think he's looked good. He's looked strong. He's looked determined. He's got in the right areas. He nearly created a goal for Richarlison, got him a penalty, and he still missed it. Like, what more can he actually do? In the minutes he's been given, what more can he actually do? Against Elfsborg, we were losing the game. Him and Ajayi have come on and we've won that game. Then against the recent game, he's come on. He's nearly given Richarlison a goal, won him a penalty, and he still missed it. Like, what more can he actually do in the little time he's had to get a chance? Another chance, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's starting a game. Give him something, because he's earned it. In the minutes he's had, he's earned it. So why not? What has Richarlison done? How many games has Richarlison had awful games for 90 minutes, and then the next week he's back in the team, and then the next week he's back in the team, and he has.
But again, there's a huge. Again, this is the difference. There's a huge difference between us not wanting Richarlison because he's not good enough to lead the line at Spurs, and automatically making the assumption that Scarlett, that no manager gives a game to, is.
But
right? This is the thing. You're linking, like what a lot of fans in the chat are doing. The link between Richarlison and Scarlett isn't actually there, but people are making that link. Richarlison not being good enough at this level doesn't mean that Scarlett is at that level, right? And I think what's going to happen is people are going to see Dane Scarlett play and realise just how unready this guy is, right? And that what we wanted actually was just because he's young and different.
But it's not a wasted game. If we see that, if he gets a chance and we see that and he's not ready, that's not a wasted game, is it? Because then all the fans can go, all right, I was wrong. He's not good enough. He's probably going to leave. Fair enough. Let's play Tell. But I don't want to see.
Do you think Premier League managers look at it and go?
But there's a whole lot of difference between training and an actual match.
Of course, and there is
a whole lot of difference. You can be crap in training and you can be brilliant in a match, and you can be brilliant in training and you can be crap in a match. Robbie Fowler literally just did a podcast yesterday saying that exact same thing, that in training he never looked good.
Yeah, but you're using one of the Premier League's greatest ever goal scorers as your argument. It's not really.
Again, then what example can you use? At some point.
This is the right. Okay, let me ask you this. Right, let me ask you this. Why is Dane Scarlett Spurs' fifth choice striker?
Because he's not been given the opportunity.
Is it because Thomas Frank doesn't understand football?
Obviously not.
Right.
But
so
obviously not.
Turn around and go, well, Thomas Frank clearly knows what he's doing. Now, by the way, if Thomas Frank starts Scarlett against Arsenal, I have to go with what Thomas Frank thinks. Right? He sees these players train every day. He must know whether or not Dane Scarlett is good enough. So far, he's not started him above Tell and Richarlison, which tells me that he is not good enough. Now,
he did give him a game, though. He did give him a game. So green shoots, gave him 10 minutes against Copenhagen.
Sure, it's easy to give a player 10 minutes when you're 4-2 up at home. It's very easy to do that.
It's positive. It's a positive.
I'm not saying it's not, but this is the this is the difference. It's okay when you're winning a game by 4-2 and you're cruising. You can turn around and go on, have 10 minutes. We're talking about
And took 6 months to give him a game, didn't he?
Who?
Ange. It took 6 months to give Scarlett a game.
So, sure, but so if we're saying that both these managers have not started him, why? At what point do you ask the question, why did Oxford send him back from loan? Why didn't
Maybe
he
they-
score goals for Ipswich or Oxford? Like, at what point do we have to ask the question?
Mm. Mm. But I've never said that I think Scarlett is good enough because I'm not a manager and I've never seen him train or anything. So I don't know. I don't know his mentality. I don't know his physicality or his technical ability. All I do know is he was the youth academy striker, scored a shed load of goals. So he has to be sort of all right. He's come in, and every time I've seen him play, he's justified his chance.
See, but this is where we differ. As I said, I think it's very different. He did one good thing against Copenhagen. It was very good. He did one good thing. There's a
I think
huge
everything.
difference.
I think he did everything he did was good.
Yeah, because Spurs were cruising in a game you're winning 4-2. When you're playing in a Premier League game and you have not got that cushion and you're playing against higher caliber footballers, suddenly it's not all fun and roses. He's got to track back. He's got to work hard. He's got to link up play. He's got to bully the centre halves. Can you imagine him going in against Saliba and Gabriel? Can you imagine
I've said that. But even Fulham, right? Even Fulham, they've got Calvin Bassey, and Calvin Bassey, he's an absolute unit.
Right,
like
you've
he's
got
a
Calvin
big.
Bassey and Anderson playing against him, right? So this is the big difference for me. Listen, if Frank goes with Scarlett, we go with it, right?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, what I want to make one thing very clear: if Frank goes with Scarlett,
Yeah,
can't they never go at him for doing that?
I wouldn't. That's the thing, though. Like you said earlier.
Look how many fans have said, "Oh, I want to see Sarr playing instead of Bentancur." We see it. Oh, he got it wrong. I want to see this player. Oh, he got it wrong. He got it wrong. He got it wrong. Look, I don't want to see it. I don't. I've seen Scarlett play for Ipswich and West Brom. Ipswich and Oxford. I've seen him when he's for the Spurs. I don't think he's good enough.
This is what annoys me about our fans, though, right? Is we don't ever give. We want everything and we want it on a plate, but we don't want to give anyone a chance. And the manager can't take any gambles without him being incompetent. It's like he's not Angepostecoglou.
This isn't a Sunday League team.
Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing. When you're saying we won't give anyone a chance, this is not a charity. You have to be good enough to play for Tottenham Hotspur. This is not a charity.
In the chances he's been given, he's justified his selection. So why not give him another chance? Why has the manager got to be crucified? If the manager gives him a game, you're right. If the manager gives him a game and he has a shit game, everyone will be saying, "Oh, Frank's useless. He doesn't know what he's doing. Get him out. Get Ange in."
Yeah, I meant 4-0. Sorry, I meant 4-0. This is my point, Ellie. At 4-0 up, you can bring on Scarlett. You can relax. There's no pressure. There's a big difference between going, right, you're ready for 10 minutes in that game. Are you ready to start against Fulham or Arsenal? And then you've got to turn around to Tell and go, Tell, I know you came on and changed the game the other day and scored against Man U. You're not starting. This kid's starting in front of you. So what fans don't think about as well is what message does that send to Matisse Tell? You came on last game, got your goal, played well, but now I'm putting you back on the bench and this kid Scarlett's coming on in front of you. It doesn't make sense for me. And this isn't me rating Tell.
Can we not just put Richarlison in the reserves or something and then just have Tell and Scarlett with the options and Moani and Solanke?
I mean, that's just not what football clubs do. It's no football club's gonna turn around to a senior player and do that.
Why, as a club, have we got why can't we just back Frank for a year, right? Whatever he does, he's going to make let him make all the mistakes he wants. Let him make dozens of mistakes. We get 8th, scraped 8th. Happy days, isn't it? Why have we got to nitpick every little thing he does to the point where he doesn't want to do it? He doesn't want to try anything. He's just like, oh, I've got to, you know.
But the thing is, the difference is, right, is as I've just said to you, if Thomas Frank decides Scarlett should start a game, I have to get behind that because this is the guy that I've said, try things, do things. I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't see that he should be starting games. That doesn't mean if he starts, I want him to do badly. I just think if we were, I mean, like Bobby said here, if you're 4-0 up at Arsenal, you go on, Scarlett, go on, have a 10-minute run out. But you've got to understand, right, that Thomas Frank, if he's starting again, Arsenal, Fulham, whoever, if he starts Scarlett and Spurs don't win, straight away, You know as well as I do, 90% of the fans will turn from, we want to see Scarlett, to, what the fuck is Thomas Frank doing? He's lost us that game. Why didn't he start Richie? Why didn't he start Tell? And this is the balance that Thomas Frank, all managers have to think of, right? Like, how
He's going to get it in the neck.
Of course. Of course.
But he shouldn't. That's the thing. He shouldn't be scared to play whoever he wants, you know?
And I don't think he has. Let's be fair, he's played a lot of different players and not started Scarlett. That might, listen, could it just be that he's not good enough?
Or he hasn't got round to it. Maybe because he has given him 10 minutes, and he gave him 10 minutes way before Ange.
Sure, but it's okay. As I said, it's okay to give him 10 minutes when 3 strikers on the pitch.
And he's definitely got bigger and stronger. He looks bigger and stronger.
Sure. But my definition of a good footballer isn't that they're just big and strong. They've got to play as well, right?
He looked good.
Play.
He beat his man. He got the pass in. He found the right area, you know?
Sure. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to do that, then any kid who has a good cameo, we're talking about, should be starting for Spurs. And this is where we're in dangerous territory. And this is why I'm so glad that fans don't manage the football club. I'll be honest.
I'd like to see. I wanted to see us bring in a striker. I wanted to see us bring in Mikhail Tadzi or Amora. I wanted to see us bring in, you know, a 24, 25-year-old international footballer, but we didn't do that. No, we brought in Moani on loan. We've got Solanke, who I don't rate at all, and we've got 18-year-old, 19-year-old Tao, and that's the options.
We panicked in. I'll bring chopped cheese in a second. We panicked on the last day of that window. We panicked.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We didn't. We saw that the Solanke injury was worse than we thought, and we went, shit. And they got Moani, and he wasn't fit. He wasn't ready. He hadn't had a summer. And then since then, it's been the dead leg, and now it's the cheek or the jaw. And for me, can we agree on this? Let's meet in the middle, right? Because I think that's the cool thing to do. If Tottenham were a proper club, we wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation about Solanke, Tell, Richarlison, Scarlett. If Spurs were a top club, we will go out in the summer and we will buy a Vlahovic, an Ivan Toney. Insert whoever you want. But if we were a top club, we would go and buy a proper number 1 striker and go, that's our guy, wouldn't we?
International footballers ready to play 50 games a year.
Right. So the fact that we're sitting here debating Scarlett, Tell and Richarlison actually makes me feel a little bit sick.
But we can also agree that every time we sign a 19, 20-year-old youngster who may or may not be better than any of the academy players, we're blocking a pathway for someone who's actually homegrown that we can actually benefit from for the long term.
As I've said, we can't have it always, right? You've got people who want to see Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, Vuskovic, Phillips, Yang, Odegaard, Tell. At the same time, they want to see Donnelly, Moore, Dorrington, like Hall, Abbott. You can't have both youth development pathways and the first team and go, right, we've got to do all 3. I think we haven't had a model for years, a proper model.
100%, no plan.
No.
And we need at least 4 club trained players.
I agree. Chopped cheese, what are you saying?
How you doing, Sav? First time on the show. What's going on, boss?
How you doing, man? I see you in the chat all the time, and I always think, I wonder what he looks like.
Yeah, no, I'm just busting chops in the chat too. Usually, I'm just poking fun.
No, man, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I've seen your super chats and stuff. You're a funny guy. What are you saying about Spurs? We're going to go for about another 10 minutes, guys. Then I'm going to wrap up. So, what are we saying about Spurs?
So, I'm here to chop it up on a few different things. Being from the States, I feel like I see things in a different light, maybe from like a third-party type view.
Sure.
I understand when fans get really upset about the quality that we have in our team and about the product that they go and see when they go for a day out and they go to the stadium. I went there a couple years ago when it was under Conte, and I watched us lose 2-0 to Aston Villa. It looked like our players were sleepwalking on the pitch.
Yeah.
If you're going to charge fans the highest prices in London, then you need to put out a better product. Here in the States, I find it unbelievable. Like, I'm a New York Jets fan, and they're terrible. I can't believe how the passion in England runs so deep. We had riots and protests over the product on the pitch.
Mhm.
You'll never see that in the States.
Mhm.
So I have so much respect for Spurs fans asking more of their club when they're getting charged extreme prices.
Okay.
It's unbelievable to me the lack of quality we have in the squad.
Mhm.
I mean, some people talk about how the game is moving to a more power, more speed, more physical type game and more not so technical. But we have such a lack of technical ability in the squad.
Agreed.
It's unbelievable to see, guys can't string passes together, can't hold the ball up. We have one guy who possesses everything: power, technical ability, speed, and that's Kudus. But a lot of people call him selfish, but I kind of agree with you where he looks up and he says, where's my help? Where's my team? Who am I passing it to that's going to be able to hold it up, play a 1-2 with me, feed me in? I completely agree with your points of view on that. As a club that makes so much money, one of the richest teams in Europe, to have such lack of quality technical players is shameful. And I kind of agree with some people who believe that stems from the last regime or the Levy days with, lack of ambition and, profit over glory and all those things. But really, I think we need way more technical players in our squad. And I'm a big Barcelona fan. And if you look at Barca and the way they play, and also another team that, if you want to talk about bringing up youngsters, I don't think another club in the world does it better than them.
Yeah,
But, they have all these technical players who aren't big speed guys. Fermin Lopez, Pedri, even, Yamal is a little bit bigger in stature than those guys, but he's not a powerhouse per se. And you have, Casado, and you have even like Eric Garcia in the back. He's not a towering center back.
You
they
got
have
Balde at left back and players like that. Yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, but they're all technical.
Yeah.
They might get out-muscled by a big team, maybe like an Arsenal. I could see Arsenal, being way bigger, more powerful than them. But you have to have balance. And I think that our squad, we have a lot of guys with engine and a lot of guys, Sar, engine, athletic ability, stuff like that. Van de Ven, athletic, fast, speed, Romero, powerful guy. I think we just lack a lot of technical ability in the squad. I think Odebear actually over the past couple games has really stepped it up. Maybe it's starting to progress under Frank. So I would love to see Odebear stay part of the squad, but I think there's a bunch of guys like Gray, Tell, who could use a loan, definitely, so we could bring in some actual quality into this team. This team is definitely missing progressive passer, like you talk about in the midfield. We are the poorest team with through balls in the league, and you can see it, week in, week out. There's nobody feeding anybody in. There's no running behind the lines. There's no intricate runs happening. We definitely need technical footballers. And
Well, look,
go ahead.
Let me say on that point, this is what I've been talking about for a very, very long time. I think the technical proficiency of this squad is really poor.
Agreed.
Really. Now, that doesn't mean that all the players are terrible, but from a technical proficiency standpoint, I think we must be one of the worst in the league. We've got a lot of runners. When I look at them, Richarlison, Odebear, Tell, Johnson, Sarr, Bergval, Bassoum, a lot of runners, lots of people with good engines, run all day long. But the football that I think a lot of our fans want to see, where we keep the ball a bit better and we pass and move better, I don't see that we've got the technical capability to do that, right?
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
I've talked about this on numerous occasions. And I think when fans are saying they want to see more, they want to take risks, that's fine. But you've got to have footballers that are capable of doing what you're asking them to do. So somebody I was speaking to today is a coach for a Premier League club. He's a friend of mine, but he coaches for a Premier League club. And he said, there's a huge difference between having players that you can play into or players that can run onto, right? And he said the difference between in and on in this sentence is massive, because he said loads of players. Johnson, you play to run onto. Richarlison, onto. Odegaard, onto. Top players you can play into. They hold it up. Kane, Ericsson, Dele Alli. Some of these players you play into, not onto. And Spurs, for me, don't have footballers that you play into. I think this is a really good way of putting it, right?
Let me ask you something. If you were to construct our squad right now, the other night I heard Danny talking a lot about formation of our squad and how he would play a 3 in the back with the 2.
Yeah.
So I agree with him that our personnel actually does kind of call for that, because we bought Udogie and we bought Porro, who are wingbacks who like to be advanced, right? Now, in my opinion, if we're going to play the 4-2-3-1, how we do it, what I was thinking is Van de Ven plays left back for the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And Van de Ven, as we see, he's great going forward. That goal he scored the other day was amazing. He has the speed to be a back. So if you moved Van de Ven to left back, and because he could actually be more of a back than a wing back, and then you put Spence at right back, who's more of a right back than he is a right wing back, and then you have Romero, and then we're in talks about getting a left center back. We also have Vuskovic coming back in. We also have Dragusin. If you move to that style, so that we're actually have more solidity in the defense, so we're not relying on Porro, who's really kind of a weak spot in the defense, and Udogie, who's better at going forward than he is defending. If you solidify that defense, and then you work from there to maybe, we have to improve the midfield with technical ability. We need a progressive passer, a number 8. You stay stiller all the time. That would be a dream. If you add a guy like that, and then we get, some technical players like a Kareem Adeyemi up top to go with a Kudus, to go with Xavi, I think then you're cooking. I don't think the squad is too far from being corrected as long as they make the right move.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is the thing. I think for me, the formation talk, right, is fine. But I think whatever formation you set this team up in, you still don't have the technical proficiency. So I think you're still going to see a lot of the same problems where are the players good enough to keep the football? There are certain players in our team who want the ball. There's a difference between players who want the ball and players who don't, right? Xavi Simons taking time to get into his Spurs career, but wants the ball, right? He goes looking for it. Give me the ball. I'm comfortable to put my foot on it and jink this way and that way and yada, yada, yada. I make you right. This squad is really strange because I don't think we're miles away, but I do think we're 3 or 4 very good players away from being a really good team. And as I've said, I think we've got at the back, we can put out a good back 4. Keeper, we can, yada. Paulinho's fine. Simmons will be fine. Kudos. The problem is the players around them to play that good standard of play, to look good going forward. Now let's use Thomas Frank's Brentford, right? Now, different team, different expectations, of course, different level. But what you noticed was with Thomas Frank over the years, what he managed to always evolve and get the best out of was his team going forward, right? Because he built them into his model and he always had technical ability coupled with runners. So if you look at his team last year, the forward 4 with Damsgaard, who had that technical ability to hold the ball up, thread through balls. Then you had players like Visser and Sharda, who were a little bit more of the runners, and Mbeumo, who could do a bit of both. Mbeumo was a runner, but was also very comfortable at holding onto the ball, bringing others into play. When I look at the Spurs forward line now, other than Kudus, I don't look at any of them and go, yeah, you are really good or you are really technically proficient. So for me, I don't think we're a million miles away. I don't think there's, as I've said, Chop, you've said it in my chat. I'm not one of these YouTubers out there that think that sees the drama. And I know a lot of it is clickbait. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, we should be playing much better football and yada, yada. But it will evolve. It will evolve as he drills the players over the year, as he gets rid of the Johnsons and the Richarlisons and starts bringing in the better footballers. Everything will change. And when it does change, yeah, people will take a look back and go, yeah, we judged way too soon. But my problem with the fans, Chop Cheese, is most of them don't want to go through short-term pain for long-term gain. They want it now. And I don't think this squad we're going to get it.
I think Frank has done a great job.
Yeah,
With the team that we have and the injuries that we have currently, you know, we're missing Madison, Kulu, Dragusin. We're missing so much of our team. We're always in an injury crisis in this club, which is, I can't understand that. Blows my mind every year. Mm-hmm. But he's done a great job. I mean, last year it was hard to watch, losing week in, week out, finishing 17th in the table. The football I was watching was just atrocious. What Frank has done is masterclass. We're in 5th right now going into the break. Come on. What I'm saying is Frank needs at least 2 windows. I want to see what 2 Frank windows look like. And I'm wearing a PSG shirt right now. I'm actually French and English. My mother's from Paris. So PSG are actually my second team.
Yeah.
I love Muani. I watched him play for Juve. I watched him play for PSG. I watched him rip it up at Nantes. Muani is a quality player. I think Muani, come the end of the season, the view from Spurs fans will be that he's probably the best 9 in our squad right now.
Sure.
And I also believe that he will be serviceable enough that hopefully I would like to see us sign him. If he goes on to do what Muani should do, if he has like a terrible season and it's like something out of, you know, we've never seen before from him, then we can let him go. But if he's the Muani that I know, would love to sign him as our 9. And then we need to get another 9, and Richarlison's like the worst Spurs player I've ever seen. Please get him. The
problem with Muani is for most Spurs fans is we haven't really been able to see him
100%
over a stretch of games, right? To turn around and say, "Wow, you've had 10 starts in a row. You got 4 goals or 5 goals you've done." And I think for me, I don't think it's about his quality. It's about can we get that run of games? Can we get out of him? And look, for me, I do want to wrap up in a minute because I've been going for so long now. My eyes go mad. For me, I just think I'm seeing what I expected. I'm seeing what we expected. I am very different. I don't rate so many of these players as highly as others do. And I think people who overrate these players are expecting a lot more from them than what they're capable of. I think the fact that we are 5th, and I know it's easy to say that because the league is 5th, I think like 5th to 11th is split by 3 points, but
it is what it is.
Think anybody that has got an ounce of patience in them will realize this league season, no one that, you know, we're going to go from 5th to 8th to 11th to 5th to 7th to 8th to 5th to, right? It's going to happen game by game because it's so close. But I think people need to just take a chill pill. Let Thomas Frank have some time and learn from Pep took time at Man City. Howe took time at Newcastle. Amorim has taken loads of time at Man United. Glasner took loads of time at Palace. Iriola took loads of time at Bournemouth. But we seem to not want to give Arteta at Arsenal, but we seem to not want to give our manager any time. We're saying 11 games. This is how we will play forever. We won't. We won't. We will evolve. And when you see him getting his own players, we will evolve. Now, listen, I do need to wrap up, but listen, love that. Love that chat. And I get why fans are frustrated. I do. I know everyone wants everything now. But when it evolves, I think a lot of people will look back and go, God, we were really hasty. We were really, really hasty. But let me do some super chats. First and foremost, somebody sent me a coffee on the Buy Me a Coffee app. Why have I got no messages? Oh, there we go. So big up to whole Spurs. Whole Spurs, who bought me a coffee, said, keep it going, to have a great show as always. Thank you very much, my man. Really appreciate that. You became a YouTube member. There's a big up to you, my man.
Bobby.
There you go. Chop cheese with a membership. Big up to you. Whole
Chop
Spurs.
it up.
Said, biggest mistake not getting Grealish. I think he would have been absolutely perfect. Now, Grealish is what I was saying. He's not someone you play onto. He's someone you play into. He wants the ball. He wants to hold it up. He wants to bring others into play. Agree with you. Big up to whole Spurs who came in again. It's a time to see how deep the kids' pockets are, the Lewis family. We will need more than 100 million to get us back on track in upping the quality in the squad. Listen, for me, if they've got anything about them, the next 2 windows, go and drop 400 million. Go and buy quality. Big up to you, old Spurs. Really appreciate that, my man. And big up to Gerald. Very generous, who said, big up, Sava. Do you know you're the only one that spoke any sense on the Spurs 5? Now it's gone to pot. I don't believe that at all. Look, Gerald, it's very kind of you to say, listen, the other guys, they've all got their opinions on Spurs. It is what it is. And I watched the show the other night. It's not gone to pot. I watched it. It was a very good show. It's not gone to pot. Come on, Gerald. Thank you for saying nice things about me, but the Spurs 5 are going to go from strength to strength. So big up to you. Thank you very much. Chop Cheese, thank you very much. Lord Rodney Trotter, thank you very much. I'm just going to see where I can send everyone.
Tav, thanks for having me. Coys.
You're welcome, my man. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Be well.
Take care, bro. Let's have a look. Let's see who's live. Are there any Spurs? No, there's no Spurs people live. I'm going to send you over to Football's 12th Man. When you get there, just say Sava Raid or FHTV Raid. It doesn't really matter. Same thing. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Much love. Really enjoyed that. And as always, come on, you Spurs.